This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the protection of an offensive guard on the football field, but getting an elementary school crossing guard. Sure, they're both guards, but you can only trust one to keep your quarterback safe when the game is on the line. So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
At Blinds.com, it's not just about window treatments. It's about you, your style, your space, your way. Whether you DIY or want the pros to handle it all, you'll have the confidence of knowing it's done right. From free expert design help to our 100% satisfaction guarantee, everything we do is made to fit your life and your windows. Because at Blinds.com, the only thing we treat better than windows is you.
Don't miss Blinds.com's year-end blowout sale, happening right now. Save up to 50% site-wide, plus a free professional measure. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Live from New York, it's the show that's wishing you a very happy new year. And Nick has a special message.
Well, I just would like to, if I may for a moment, congratulate my father, Louis Wright, today, after more than 53 years, either as an active duty firefighter or directly involved in the Kansas City Fire Department. Is his last day. He's retiring today.
Wow.
Started May 1st, 1972.
Wow.
And now today is his last day working. And I'm saying that publicly because he has promised today is his last day working, but now there's a little extra pressure to actually retire. Congrats, Dad. Lifetime award.
That is
well
awesome.
done.
First hour, first things first. Today, if the Ravens win, are they the most dangerous team in the AFC playoffs?
I like his smiling. I like the vibes, Wild. A couple years ago, Nick, he wasn't even there. Now he's there with a cheese grater.
Meanwhile, we're off tomorrow, so it's a special Wednesday edition of the most motivational segment in all of sports, the Bud List. You liked Lamar, and now I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers on the Bud List. But this is a special Bud List.
This is a special Bud List. This is for all of 2026.
Wow.
So this is not just this week.
Blanket motivation.
This is like projecting for next year.
Well, if it's for the whole year, then certainly Wilds allowed you to go back to 5.
Well, I got a surprise for you.
Oh, God.
Maybe
surprise
they
for
should
you.
be 5. If I only did a loss to the Falcons, drop the Rams from a top.
Oh, of course not.
What
It doesn't matter what they do on
that's
Sundays.
Exactly.
Right? I mean,
Exactly.
Hold on.
get
Don't-
smacked around.
You know what? It was
Do
an
not
aberration.
lash out about
That is an
Danny's
issue.
top 10 in relation to the committee's tiers. The committee's tiers do not leave teams atop the tiers post-loss.
Oh, you love them too.
I do
You love
really
them.
like the
Committee
Rams,
usually,
but
it's the benefit of having a committee
a
versus
full committee.
one guy.
Absolutely. One guy who's, he's staked to his takes, all that stuff. The committee can really look at what's happening.
We take that back.
Thank you.
Alongside Nick Wright, Chris
Marshall
Broussard,
Stevens.
I'm Kevin Wilds, and part of my New Year's resolution is to introduce ourselves and say our names more often.
Oh, yeah, and we're going to have it show up on the screen,
Are
too.
we-
Today?
Can we
Not
do that
today.
today?
That's 2026.
2026. We start with the
Tomorrow,
Ravens
Friday.
in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yep. Win and you're in, or lose and go home. Glass half empty. And maybe retire, maybe lose your coaching job. Here's Kyle Van Noy, friend of the show, with Kay Adams.
Our main focus is believing in each other and proving ourselves right. Like, this is what was meant to be. Yes, it's been a challenging season. Our record hasn't shown as good as we've been or are. It's one game, one opportunity to go into Pittsburgh against a really, really good football team. And just because their record's been what it is, doesn't mean they're a bad football team too. I mean, we just saw the Rams, who's been, touted as the best team in the league, lose. You just got to get into the dance. Anything can happen.
Okay, Brew, can the Ravens convince you that they can make a run?
Wilds.
Oh, gee whiz.
All right. What was I wearing on Monday?
A full robe with little patches of sandwiches and soda pop.
Yes.
And Jordans.
And Jordans, purple
Yes.
Jordans. And sunglasses.
I do not put on the robe frivolously.
That's true.
Or haphazardly. I don't get all willy-nilly with the robe.
I know, that's true.
When you see me in the robe, and this was the first time since they beat Cleveland in week 2, that I donned the robe. When you see me in that, it means I believe. All right? And I don't just believe about them beating the Steelers. Nick, I do believe they have a run in them.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh, do they have a run in them? If I see Lamar Jackson out there, because I think they can win with Tyler Huntley against the Steelers, but can't make a run in the playoffs. If I see Lamar Jackson out there playing at 85%, then watch out. And Lamar, and look, maybe the back makes this irrelevant, but there were signs that he was coming around. Look at the weeks 10 to 14 is the 5-game stretch where he was terrible. The last 2 weeks, though, I mean, look, he didn't throw it a lot. He got hurt against the Patriots.
It's 22
so that's
passes,
just the first,
right?
But he was like 17 or something like that, 15 for 22.
Yeah.
I mean, you see completion
That's
percentage, the passer rating's hot, TD to interceptions, 2-1. But those stats are
really good.
Kind of like
those
vintage
are
Lamar, except
great.
for the TD.
Those are great
right.
numbers.
So maybe he was breaking out of whatever slumber he was in.
Okay.
All right. Either way, Derrick Henry is playing the best football he's played all year. I mean, he's been good. He was great in the first week against Buffalo. Yeah. But the defense, too.
The defense?
Look at these defensive numbers. And this is 11 weeks. The last 11 games, I mean, top 6 in everything.
You called this.
First or second best. That's
you don't get
their
enough credit
culture.
for this.
That's their culture. That's what they do. I give John Harbaugh credit for that. So I got a strong defense. I got one of the best running backs in the league playing really well, and potentially one of the best quarterbacks in the league coming back. And here's the thing, Nick. They were beating the 13 or 14 win Patriots by 11 points with 9 minutes left.
And then what happened?
And then they fell apart. But my point is, they didn't even have their starting quarterback. Despite Lamar only playing the first half and none of the second half, they were up 11 with 9 minutes left.
But it's that defense that you're trying to tell me is great that fell apart.
Yeah, we got a short field. We got a fumble.
That's the thing.
One full long field,
with the fumble.
and then after because the Ravens scored, kicked off, long field touchdown, Zay fumble touchdown.
Right. But think about pushing around the Bills or the Patriots. Pushed around the Bills in week 1 when the defense for 55 minutes when the defense was terrible for the Ravens. All right, beat the Packers and the Bears, 2 legitimate playoff teams with their backup quarterback. And, I mean, I'm saying if they start to get back to full strength, mainly with Lamar Jackson, I think they can make a run. That's all I'm saying. I think they got a shot to definitely make a run in the AFC.
So I'm glad you mentioned the Packers and the Bears wins because those are the only 2 good wins of the year.
That's 2 good ones.
It is 2 good ones.
Those are
and it
really
goes right in line with excellent losses to all the good teams they have faced other than that. Oh. New England, Pittsburgh, the Rams, annihilated by Houston, blew it against Buffalo, and then lost to teams we thought were going to be good but weren't in Detroit and Kansas City, split with Cincinnati, a team that ended up, both games, by the way, with Joe Burrow, beat them once and lost to them once. Their wins, other than the Chicago and Green Bay win with their backup quarterback.
You don't think that Cincinnati win was a good one? With Burrow shut out?
No, so that's a good win, but then they also lost to him. I
chalk that up to like Burrow having a
crisis.
It
was
they
weird.
Made him. They made him.
I think he had one going into the game, but regardless, their other wins are twice against Cleveland. They beat the Jets. They beat Minnesota. They beat
Jets
Miami.
Win was good.
And they are if they beat Pittsburgh, which I am not ready to say they will. But if they do, they are playing in round 1, Buffalo or Houston. Buffalo, who with healthy, excellent, coming off an MVP caliber season Lamar, they beat them. They beat the Ravens. And Houston, who annihilated them.
Without Lamar.
But 44 points after the toys had been tossed. And it's weird.
That was before the defense started playing.
Right, but it was after they had gotten rid of the toys, but the defense hadn't started playing well. But we can't, it's weird to me if we're going to say, we're going to throw out the Houston loss because Lamar wasn't there, but we're hanging our hat on the Green Bay and Chicago wins when Lamar was injured. That to me is, and the Green Bay game was, by the way, that defense that we're talking about let Malik Willis go 18 of 21 for 288 yards, and it was a game until he got hurt. And it was a one-possession game in the fourth quarter. He got hurt. I forget, Sean Clifford came in through and picked games over. And so or Clayton Tune, I don't even know who their third string is. I think it's Clayton Tune.
It's Tune.
It used to be Sean Clifford. My apologies. I just don't think that a team, right now, they have the same record as the Vikings, the Panthers, who we're all saying is the one NFC, the NFC South and the AFC North, to me, are the same. They are the two divisions that are going to get a team in the playoffs that are in a win-and-you're-in game between a 9-win team and an 8-win team, and they're drawing dead to go on a big run.
Here's the thing. I agree with you. If you're, because you talked about games this season. If we see the Ravens that we saw
all year
early on,
okay,
then and Lamar that we saw for a good stretch, 5 weeks, then sure, they're not making a run. I am going, just like I would do with the Chiefs, I am banking on their history. I'm banking on their ability. They've had a horrible year, but now they have life, and I'm saying if they can play better.
Real quick, because if people are wondering, and you just alluded to it, would I feel this way if the Chiefs were in this position and the Chiefs had some terrible year but might sneak in? And the answer is absolutely not. No. I wouldn't.
You would be feeling like
I would be feeling like Brew was feeling. I am saying that. But when you say just like the Chiefs' entire history has been they play better in the playoffs. We are asking a Ravens team who, with Harbaugh and Lamar, every year have gotten worse in the playoffs.
They can't get worse this year.
Well, I mean,
seriously, they can't get worse this year.
But we would need them to.
And they've beaten that Houston team a few times.
Last year. And we have never seen the Ravens with Lamar and Harbaugh get better in the playoffs, ever.
Can I pitch you on an idea to support one of Bruce's theories? The idea that it was easy street going into the playoffs and this adversity might be the switch that they need. So this is all of Lamar's playoff appearances, their point differential going into the playoffs. They were sixth, first 3 times, tied for third. It has never resulted in a Super Bowl. This year, they're 16th. The idea being, the theory being, that this is, you know what, all year long, we didn't peak too early. We're peaking just at the right time. We've won, 2 must-win games to get into the playoffs, and now we're going to be a rocket ship as we face a Bills team that can't stop the run. We're going to feed it to Derrick Henry, a Texans team that we have beaten in the playoffs before, and Lamar's getting healthier, and all of a sudden, get rid of the self-inflicted
We're 10 days
mistakes.
removed
I like what you're
from them blowing a double-digit fourth-quarter lead in what we thought was a must-win game.
I agree.
Against one of the best teams in the league.
The only reason, this is where I think you guys are, I love the optimism, and I think it's good for the show. It's way better for the show if the Ravens make it and the Steelers make it. But the Ravens played in a must-win game against a playoff-caliber team, blew the game. And because of that, they no longer controlled anything. Their season, we thought, was over because we thought the Steelers were going to beat the Browns. The Steelers play their worst game of the year and lose to the Browns, and now we're trying to convince ourselves that the fact that the Ravens in the past have been regular season juggernauts, and this year they are the definition of mid. You said 16th point differential, 8-8 for the season, and their quarterback is banged up. That is going to be a recipe for them to go on their best playoff
Peaking
run.
at the right time.
It hardens you. Calluses.
I like that.
There has been. And look, I am not sitting here saying I'm guaranteeing they're going to win the AFC. I'm saying with this field, why not? Why can't they? They arguably have the best quarterback. When he's at his best, they arguably have the best quarterback in the conference.
Well, 2-time MVP, 1-time MVP.
Yeah, arguably have the best quarterback in the
When he says 1-time
no,
MVP,
I thought he was talking about Drake.
Josh Allen.
No, I know. And Josh Allen, throw him all of them. Arguably the best quarterback in the conference. Arguably the best running back in the playoffs in the AFC. And the defense is playing really well.
Would you go ahead, KW?
No, that's it.
Houston's defense is
Would you agree with me that they are more likely to lose Sunday than to win a playoff game.
No, I wouldn't. I would agree with you. They're more likely to lose Sunday than to make the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, I mean that.
But although I'm saying they got a chance to make the Super Bowl, but no, I wouldn't agree with that.
I think they're scary. I am taking a little bit of the Chiefs.
They're the opposite of the Chiefs. The Chiefs
it's just a great quarterback and a team that has just been excellent for a few years versus the Jags. Like, as much as I think a fair criticism, like, I don't know what the Patriots are going to look like.
No,
I want to be confident, but I actually haven't seen
the Ravens are playoff proven.
You know what we're big on this side of the table?
They haven't been able to beat the Chiefs.
They've lost to the Chiefs.
They lost to the Bills.
Bro.
I mean, those are good teams that they lost to. They've beaten up on Houston. Last year, they flattened Houston.
Lamar has
Houston,
3
they gave
career
the Chiefs
playoff wins. 2 came against Houston, right? It's the last 2 years they beat Houston.
Yeah.
Do I have that right? Mm-hmm. And
So now I'm supposed to believe they can't beat that Houston team?
I am stunned that the analysis is that this team used to be awesome in the regular season and fall flat in the playoffs. Yep. Now they are having the worst and most injury-riddled regular season they've had, and that is the recipe to them being excellent in the playoffs. I just don't.
I'm not saying that's the recipe. I'm saying maybe that could work out for him.
And I'm wrong. He doesn't have 2 playoff wins against Houston because the Chiefs beat Houston last year. He beat the Steelers in the playoffs. He beat Houston 2 years ago in the playoffs and beat the Steelers. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Aaron Rodgers, coming off one of the worst games of the season in a loss to the Browns, now he's looking at what might be his final game in the NFL. Here's Tomlin on that idea. Take a listen.
I'm just committed to making sure that it's not. He's certainly been an awesome contributor to our efforts, and not only from a talent perspective and an experience perspective, but just his professionalism, his relationship with the game, his love for his teammates, and his willingness to help them grow and get better and gain better understanding each and every day has been cool to be a part of.
Okay, if Rodgers loses this, do you think he should retire?
Yes. It's just time. He won't go out as a champion. He won't even go out as a playoff quarterback. But he did not tarnish his legacy, right? He didn't have the first losing season of Mike Tomlin's career. His numbers are
fine.
Okay, right. 95 passer rating, I think 23-7 touchdown interception, something like that. And now this is for the moment. Historically, people won't remember this stuff. But for the moment, you can look at it and say, DK Metcalf, he was the reason. You can look at it and say, TJ Watt got injured, in a wild accident. Right? You can look at it and say, some of the other injuries and things like that. So I think, though, here's the deal. And, where would he go next year? He could stay in Pittsburgh. I guess Minnesota. I guess Indianapolis would be possibilities. He's not leading those teams anywhere. Aaron Rodgers fell short with 2 excellent Green Bay teams when he was the MVP. Back-to-back MVPs. When he was at the height of his career and the team was really good, he still fell short in the playoffs. So I'm supposed to believe at 42 or 43, he's going to lead some other team to playoff glory? No, it's not. He's had a great career.
Great.
Fortunately, he got that Super Bowl years ago, so that monkey's off his back. It's just time for him to retire because now if he keeps playing mediocre football, some people are only seeing this Aaron Rodgers. And some people are, forgetting, like Dwight Howard. Not that Dwight was equivalent of Aaron Rodgers, but remember, people forget how good Dwight Howard was because they saw so much more.
Spot on the top 75 list if he had just retired after Orlando. So listen, I agree with you, Brew. I also think this, and you'll love this, KW. The long tail of the 3-game Phillip Rivers comeback will be felt across shows like this for a decade.
Oh, wow.
And the beginning of that tail will be, if he retires next year, whichever contender-ish team suffers a quarterback injury, it will just be assumed, well, obviously, Aaron Rodgers can come off the couch and come play for you. And you know what I mean? And step in there. And those of us that tend to think that's insane are going to be like, people are going to also recreate how good Phillip Rivers' 0-3 stretch was with the Colts and be like, no, Phillip Rivers looked good, guys.
He can play a little bit.
And so I think Aaron Rodgers will stay in the October, November, December American sports media football news cycle for the next few years. Like, it's not just next year.
Before Phillip Rivers, there was headlines before they signed Phillip Rivers. Did Andrew Luck get a call?
Yeah.
It's never going away.
He's been gone. Luck's, I think, been gone since 2019 or 2018.
He's still in his 30s.
Right. Yeah, he's in.
Could he
so,
be next?
and so, but I also, if he plays, I'm scarred by what happened against Cleveland. Like, it just seemed like a quarterback that was done. If they win, and then I think they make the playoffs, and then you see they have a home playoff game, it reopens. But if they go back-to-back winning you're into the postseason games, and you lose to Cleveland, then you lose to Baltimore, with it, dealing with their own injury at quarterback, then I think it's time. And if it is, I think it's worth throwing this on the screen because he does have a claim that he is one of the 3 greatest regular season quarterbacks in the history of the sport. And his career numbers, listen, he's got the 4th most passing touchdowns, the 5th most yards, the highest passer rating. Mahomes had it briefly, but then he dropped. Lamar had it briefly, then he dropped. Aaron, so Aaron's back atop that. And only Peyton Manning has more first-team All-Pros. We did Super Bowl era
MVPs,
because,
right?
and MVPs. But they were saying first-team All-Pro, Sid Luckman, Otto Graham, and Johnny Unitas had more. But it was of the Super Bowl era, it's him and Peyton, which is what makes, Brew, the playoff stuff with him so weird. Started 4-1 in the playoffs with a Super Bowl, was 6-10 in the postseason after that, with some grisly results, or 6-9, I should say, in the postseason after that, because right now he's 11-10 for his career in the playoffs. But as far as on a throw-to-throw, game-to-game, regular season basis, you can put his career up against anybody ever. And the
regular season.
And so it's very odd for a player that great to play that long and only make 1 Super Bowl, but that's what it seems like his ultimate destiny is going to be. Even if they win Sunday, nobody thinks they're going to go to the Super Bowl.
Can I give you an alternate history if he wins on Sunday, an alternate recent history? If he beats the Ravens, he will have gone 4-1 to have a drive towards the playoffs and fend off the Ravens and the Steelers. No one believed in the Steelers, and they've done it. He was weeks 14 through 16. He was
playing his best ball.
He was unbelievable. 3-0. His passer yards per game at 260. His passer rating was at 106.
Yeah.
And that was after he had that terrible game where he called out his teammates for being late to meetings.
Yeah.
He
and
had
with
this
a broken wrist.
And a broken, So this Week 17 game, you can say, he looks washed. Man, a lot of quarterbacks don't look good against Myles Garrett, especially if you're trying to avoid sacks with sort of the purposeful nature that he was. So I think he needs to win this game, and it puts a whole different flavor on this year.
Oh, if they win it, absolutely. If they win it, Brew, I think this was successful. I know that the only way for this to really be stamped as definitively successful is breaking the streak of not winning a playoff game. Right. So he needs to, win 2 more. Yeah. And that obviously would be unbelievable if they beat Buffalo or they beat Houston in round 1 of the playoffs. And
Houston.
I know Houston scares you more than Buffalo. Because you're looking at it through Houston attacking him. Yeah. I just don't think if Pittsburgh could keep up with Buffalo's offense. But regardless, that's the only thing that would make it definitively this was a great final chapter.
Yep.
But to your point, this isn't an embarrassing final chapter. No. And Favre, what's tough for Rodgers is Favre did get one awesome post-Green Bay season.
Yeah.
Favre's first year with the Vikings, he came in second in league MVP voting. They made the conference championship game, and then he threw the ball away at the very end of that game, and they lost. The next year with the Vikings, he was done, and it was over for him. But he got one more
Iconic moment, too.
And
I don't know if I've had a Rodgers moment this year. You know what I mean?
The only Rodgers moment.
That little run that you highlighted.
That's not. I'm not going to remember that forever.
No. But that was DK Metcalf too.
Yes.
And that's where the problem. If DK was playing, this weekend, it might be a whole different story.
The only Rodgers moment post Green Bay is him running out with the flag about 20 minutes before he tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only, at least
the Robert Saleh non-hug.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the only positive,
didn't he have his
oh my
500th
goodness.
touchdown?
No, yes, I mean, but as far as I can see it, I can't see, you can't immediately visualize any other positive Rodgers moments, not in a Packers uniform, other than that moment, his first game with the Jets.
Most motivational segment in all of sports, a special Wednesday edition, and a special 2026 edition. Yes. Next on FS1, the Fox Sports Channel on Sirius XM.
Nearly home. Isn't home where we all want to be? Reba here for Realtor.com, the pros' #1 most trusted app. Finding a home is like dating. You're not just looking for a place to live, you're searching for the one. That's where Realtor.com comes in. Like any good matchmaker, they know exactly where to look. With over 500,000 new real listings straight from the pros every month, you could find your perfect match today. Ranch style with a pool, barn dominium with an in-law suite? Realtor.com's got them. Modern craftsman with a big yard and a treehouse out back? Realtor.com will have you saying, yep, that's the one. No more swiping. It's time to start finding. Download the Realtor.com app today, 'cause you're nearly home. Make it real with Realtor.com.
Pros #1 most trusted app based on August 2024 proprietary survey. Over 500,000 new listings every month based on average new for sale and rental listings. February 2024 through January 2025.
We are on the road to 1 billion views. We're 28 million away. We're going to get it. I know it seems like a lot. I think people put that up like, geez, that seems kind of far away.
We're going to get it in short order.
Yeah, in short order.
Or we're going to get a new social media manager.
One or the other.
Gianna's staked her reputation to it. So
also, the podcast has been excellent. Right now, you're in for a real treat. It's a special Wednesday edition of the most motivational segment in all of sports. Had to make a special trip to the post office to grab a letter today. They were still there.
Yeah, of course.
I picked a random one.
Picked a random post office or
letter?
Oh, okay.
Same post office. Okay. Dear Wilds, love the show. Thank you. We know that Greg is a Super Bowl champion and great teammate on and off the field. That's true. Can you outline 3 or 4 things you learned about building a winning team and culture that Greg shared last night as you all broke bread? Happy New Year, Ryan and Brian. Ryan and Brian, I hate to end 2025 like this, but I have terrible news. Last night, while we were all getting ready to go, we said, Greg, after overtime, are you going to meet us there? Do you want to walk together as a team?
I asked him if he wanted to ride with me. Yeah.
And Greg, do you mind sharing your response on why you couldn't make dinner?
I actually do not.
Brew?
I want to share my response.
Well, he had to get his rest.
Said I have to sleep.
That was it.
I'm choosing to go to sleep. Not I have anything to do. I need to work out. Not even I'm tired. I would just prefer to sleep. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Honesty is
Why
the
didn't you
best
just say, I don't want to hang out with you guys?
I'd rather be unconscious.
That's literally what he said. He was like, I have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
I would rather take a nap.
I did say that.
And you know what, Greg? I appreciate the honesty.
Thank you.
I appreciate the honesty.
That was your team. Yeah. That's the teamwork lesson. Yeah. Honesty. Best policy. All right, time for the Bud List special edition.
Speaking of honesty, I'm going to keep it real. This is a special 2026 edition for the whole upcoming year. So I'm going to throw in a few regrets, a few guys that I wanted to put on the list, but since Wilds cut it to only 3, I can't. I'm going multi-sport. Wow. Aaron Judge. Now, last year, Aaron Judge got rid of the notion that he can't deliver in the postseason. Yeah. He hit 500, right? But in New York, it's all about the ring. Yeah. He has had a phenomenal career, 3 of the last 4 MVPs, but he's going to have to deliver a World Series. They haven't won it since 2009. And Aaron Judge is one of the best Yankees ever, but Is he going to go down as that if he doesn't deliver a World Series?
Well, are we on the bud list?
Not yet.
Yeah, this is just a bonus. This is bonus.
Since
we cut you out of the Butler, you don't make it anymore. So, also, Giannis.
Giannis on the bud.
Yes,
now
because
2026.
Giannis, you're the 11th seed in the East. All right, in the JV conference. I get if you want to stay there this whole year, fine. Mm-hmm. But this summer, you should be about getting out of there. Okay. And Houston's not winning it unless they make a move.
Is Houston
Do you guys agree with that?
It's Giannis. It's Giannis to try.
Giannis is on the. I think Houston should be the team to go for him.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Maybe. I don't really.
They're behind. They're not as good as OKC, San Antonio, or Denver.
Yeah.
And Kevin Durant's 37. It's win now. So go get Giannis. All right. And Giannis, ask out. It's time to go. Nobody's going to look down at you for that. All right. Now, now you had your chance. Waz, you did your intro. All right. Now, at number 3 on the official buzz.
Oh, okay.
Good.
All right.
Joe Burrow.
All right, thankful.
Now, Joe Burrow's out of the playoffs for the 3rd straight year. He's played well individually, but Joe, you know as well as all of us, it is all about winning, especially for quarterbacks.
In Cincinnati?
Yes.
Like Aaron Judge?
Cincinnati's been to the Super Bowl, all right? So Joe, and not just with Joe, before that. Yeah. So, Joe, I get it. It's not, you haven't made the playoffs since 2022. It hasn't all been your fault. Obviously, there's been some problems with the defense. You have been injured, freak accidents, some of these things. But what I would say to you is make this off season your hardest working ever. I know you work hard, but you have got to do everything in your power to come back healthy next year. Give Cincinnati 17 healthy games. You're 29 years old. You're not getting any younger, and the young boys are coming. Drake Maye, C.J. Stroud, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert. That's just the AFC. They are coming for you. All right, so you have got to deliver next season. I don't want to hear about the defense. Yes, the defense needs to get better, but you need to go out there and get back to your winning ways in Cincinnati. Joe, I do believe in you. At number 2, Lamar Jackson. Now, unlike Joe, Lamar, you have a chance to make things right within the next 2 months.
True.
You are still alive. And boy, what an opportunity. What an opportunity. We look at this AFC field, nobody's scary. No one. All right? And if you can get yourself right physically, then this could become your best year. This is, despite this terrible season, I think this is one of his best chances to get to the Super Bowl because of the field in the AFC. A lot of young, unproven quarterbacks. All right? A lot of young, unproven teams. And you have veterans, you have a great running back, you got a very good defense. And I'll say this, even though if you lose this weekend or early in the playoffs, probably or maybe John Harbaugh's last season. And maybe, I don't know if you want that or not. I have no idea what your relationship is. However, you don't know what a new coach brings. Even as I'm saying Harbaugh should go if they go out early or go out this weekend, you still don't know what the next coach is going to be. There have been a lot of head coaches who were coordinators that we thought would be great and weren't. All right, so you just don't know. You have a new offensive system, a new way of doing things. It might take a while for you to adjust. So whether you want Harbaugh out or not, I have no idea. But don't let, if you have ill feelings toward him or the organization or whatever, don't let that set you back. Certainly don't let a contract issue set you back. You're in the middle of a huge $260 million contract. So don't let that stop you from what, to me, looks like a great opportunity to make this a special season by getting to and even winning the Super Bowl. Lamar, you know I believe in you. At number 1, Josh Allen. I mean, it's similar to Lamar, very similar. This, not your best team, I don't believe, but certainly your best opportunity to get to that Super Bowl and win it, Josh. Look, Patrick Mahomes, the boogeyman is gone. He's 4-0 against you in the playoffs. He is gone. So now, like I said with Lamar, a lot of young, unproven quarterbacks and teams stand in your way of getting to the Super Bowl. There's no excuses. Sure, you don't have a great wide receiver, but you do have a great offensive line. You do have a great running back, and your defense is pretty good. All right, so there are really no opportunities. It's not supposed to be easy. All right, and if you can win it this year, that monkey is off of your back forever. Everything you do after that, obviously you'll still want to win more Super Bowls, but everything will be gravy.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers, who we were just talking about, won and went to the Super Bowl 15 years ago, and he's still, even though he hasn't won big since then, you can't knock him at all because he has the Super Bowl victory. That is what awaits you, Josh, if you can deliver. Even though I don't think you guys, I'm pulling for the Ravens, I do believe in you, Josh. So we will see.
What a bud list. Power packed.
Like the bud list, I'm going to add a quarterback that has a Super Bowl ring, Jalen Hurts, to the bud list. And what's interesting about Jalen Hurts is, like I mentioned, he has a Super Bowl ring already, yet we kind of question, we question what it looks like when they win because of him. If he's not throwing the ball, having great success, we question, is this sustainable? Can they do this again? And moving into the 2026 season, even the postseason, Jalen Hurts in last year's playoffs, great, excellent, turned it up a notch. You have to do that again. You have to quiet all the talk, all the inner chatter and outer chatter surrounding who you are as a quarterback, passing quarterback. We don't question your leadership. We don't question how you speak publicly in your press conferences. You do those things at an elite level. We do, however, scratch our heads, question, is it Jalen? Is it the offensive coordinator? Is it the play call? Is it Nick Sirianni? The constant has been your name continuously popping up. Vibes, when they're great, it's because you did something and you won a game, but you did something. When they're not, and you can have great output offensively outside of throwing the football, and we still will look at Jalen Hurts saying, I don't know if they have enough. I don't know if they can get it done this year because can he throw the ball when they need him to? Jalen Hurts, I believe in you. You've done it before. The first time you went to the Super Bowl, you lost it, but you played great. Dueled Patrick Mahomes. The next year, paid you. Let's go, Jalen Hurts. Let's make it about you. Threw the ball, you threw too many interceptions. Now we're questioning, will they ever have faith in you like they once did? I believe in you. Does your team truly believe in you and your play caller believe in you? We'll see.
Okay. But are we still doing Sports Media Ombudsman for the whole year?
You betcha.
Wow. Fantastic. What a real treat you're in for.
You don't have to do this anymore.
I'm doing it out of my own volition.
Wow.
It's time for the Sports Media Ombudsman. Fantastic edition of Sports Media Ombudsman. I'm thrilled.
So I have made this point in the past, but I really hope that folks in the sports media, in the reporting industry, take it to heart for 2026, which is, if your job is to serve the fans, allow me on behalf of fans to say, fans would like more stories and less transactions reported in 2026. I'm going to give you two, I think, shining examples that it can be done. One works with us, one does not, so I'm not playing any favorites. Jay Glazer in the NFL knows everybody, talks to a lot of people, gets a lot of information, keeps a lot of it, does not play the this free agent is signing here game, this team is looking at this player in the draft game, and then every Sunday morning on the best football pregame show that's existed for more than a quarter century, he does about 5 minutes of real news. It's like, man, I didn't know that. That actually is real information, not something that was going to be released on the transaction wire in 90 minutes anyway. Real information. He is serving the fan. Brian Windhorst in the NBA, I think, does something very similar in a different methodology via his podcast. Windy talks to everyone. Windy almost never tweets. Windy never is like, hey, this free agent is signing here. But Windy calls those relationships, those sources, and then gives you real insight and information via his podcast. It serves the fan. You feel like you know more because of that. So much of sports media reporting has been beating what is going to be public knowledge anyway. A trade, a signing, an injury. All of those things have to be disclosed to the public, no matter what, via 30 minutes on social media. And in order to get that information, it feels to me a lot of folks have given up the ability to report real news. If I break a real story that they don't want to get out, they're not going to give me the thing that they were going to give, that they were going to have to give out anyway. The sports fan wants the real news. We'll get the transactions no matter what. There's never been a trade made in pro sports that no one found out about. That guy's on a new team. It's on the transaction wire. This guy drafted him. So it can be done. Glazer and Windy, and I could have picked others, but those two guys, I think, prove it on our two biggest sports. I hope we get more of that in 2026.
Oh, here's Sports Media Ombudsman, the final Sports Media Ombudsman of 2025. Thank goodness.
Hello, I'm Diane Morgan. If you know who I am, you know who I am. If you don't, who cares? I'm here to explain Italian Time, a holiday phenomenon where Italians throw away their clocks and gather for eternity with San Pellegrino. I've been at this party so long that I've eaten 5 courses, hugged someone's grandma twice, and been offered a job in the family restaurant. So this holiday season, make sure to bring enough San Pellegrino to last you through the meal, the after meal, and the entire goodbye ritual. San Pellegrino, holiday on Italian Time.
Preview of the MVP. Odds are still moving around, but Drake Maye is the favorite. We talked about how an MVP for Stafford might put him in the Hall of Fame. If Drake were to win, he would be one of the youngest MVPs ever, joining Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and Dan Marino, who, by the way, one guy is in the Hall of Fame, 2 guys are headed to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So, what would an MVP mean for Drake Maye?
So, what do you think it would mean?
Well, I have a game within a game, segment within a segment.
Okay.
It's a segment I call Too Far.
Great.
Number 1, you tell me when I'm going too far. You have to go like this, too far.
Okay.
If he wins the MVP, he's the most valuable player in the league.
I will.
You know what I'm saying? That's too far. Okay, game's over.
That's literally what he would be.
But when I say it like that, you're like,
but that's so it's.
Game's over.
Hold on, no, because I think I'll say yes to other things on your list.
Okay.
So because that's like I wouldn't trade.
Who is the most valuable?
I don't know. I wouldn't trade.
Who has the award?
They won the award is different than. Would you? That's again. I don't want to be.
It doesn't mean most valuable.
Last year, Josh Allen won MVP.
Yes.
Last year, the Chiefs would not, going into this year, trade Patrick Mahomes for any player in the league.
I'm not talking about trading.
Yeah, he's not.
I'm saying, is he the most valuable?
He was in 2025. Yes.
He would be that.
Yeah, that year. Sure.
Excellent. Okay. Question number 2.
Yeah.
Remember, if just for the rules, you got to go too far.
Yeah, got you.
He's the best quarterback in the AFC playoff field.
Too far.
Okay. What do you do to do air quotes?
You said you got to be too far.
No, you don't have to do air quotes. You just go too far like that.
Too far.
Okay.
Yeah,
because of Lamar.
No, because of Josh.
No, Josh.
Because of Josh.
And then
because he has an
gets
MVP, and Drake Maye has an MVP.
And Josh has a great long playoff resume.
Yeah.
And Drake Maye
he has a great long player. What's his record?
He's been, but he has produced.
I think he has
one game over 500.
I think KW. I think he's in top 15 all-time playoff wins. Like it's certainly.
Well, he's 8-7.
KW. Every quarterback other than Brady and Mahomes, their playoff win-loss record is close to 500 because you lose every year. You don't win the Super Bowl.
Everybody thinks that's too far.
Aaron Rodgers 11-10. Peyton Manning is one game over 500.
You name 2 guys who don't thrive in the playoffs.
I'm named. KW, I'll show you the career.
We're all
unanimous.
Later.
He's officially a top 5 quarterback.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
Too far.
Too far.
He was top 5
Again,
this
you
year.
have to do the thing. I don't want to be
too far.
Thank you.
He was top 5 this year, and it would be a phenomenal achievement, and I do think he's going to go on and have a fantastic career. But I've seen too many guys have a great year early, and this would be the greatest, but I thought C.J. Stroud was headed
He
that
wasn't
way.
doing MVP stuff,
No, I agree, but they still were very good and have fallen off. Jaden Daniels, RG3, not MVP, but still very good seasons. And every MVP is not some superstar. Matt Ryan, Rich Gannon. I mean,
we're going back decades.
We're in this century. I'm just saying, I think I am not ready to submit him as a top 5 quarterback after one great season.
I don't think he should be MVP, and I'm ready to submit him a top 5 quarterback.
Yes.
I'm trying. Who would you put in front of him?
Well, I still got the 4. Josh, Lamar, Burrow.
So why Burrow? Burrow's the one that's...
I knew this was going to be wild.
Burrow's numbers last year still were better than Drake's this year. 30 touchdowns, and I said yesterday Drake's my number 1 guy for MVP. So 30 touchdowns isn't like phenomenal.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, then I have one final question for Tufar.
Because to me, when I look at the Marino, Mahomes, Lamar, the 3 guys you showed, it's very instructive what we felt about those guys after their MVP season was greatly impacted by what they did in those playoffs. So Marino that year made the Super Bowl. And a lot of people, again, that was the year I was born, so I can't, but I believe it was really Marino, Montana, like that was a debate.
Marino was like a video game.
Right,
Yeah,
and so, so he made the Super Bowl, won MVP. A lot of people thought, I know Montana's got rings already. Marino's the best quarterback in the league. Mahomes,
and we thought he's going to get to more Super Bowls.
Mahomes makes the AFC Championship game, plays unbelievable against Brady. They lose in overtime. I looked it up this morning. The next year, he wasn't on the NFL 100, the top quarterback. Brady wasn't either, actually. It was Drew Brees, then Mahomes, then Brady. He was in the discussion for best quarterback, but it wasn't unanimous until the next year when they broke through. Lamar, after the bad playoff game his rookie season, and then the unanimous MVP year and the awful playoff game, he was not considered, unimpeachable, untouchable after that MVP season because of how he did in the playoffs. So the question I had for some of these to me are going to be playoff dependent. If he wins MVP, plays well in the playoffs, and they make the AFC Championship game and lose, to me he's clearly a top 5. I think he's top 5 anyway.
Oh, yeah. If we're in the AFC
So
Championship.
who's not in the top 5?
I think,
Stafford? Lamar? Burrow?
I think Lamar is, to me, a question mark, and I think Burrow's a question mark. My non-question marks would be Mahomes, Allen, and Drake Maye.
Mahomes almost would have an asterisk going into next year.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's fair. You have
issue.
to see because of the knee.
As much as I love Burrow, I think we're getting too far removed
from the Super Bowl.
From the Super Bowl.
It's 5 years.
Last year, he was a top 5 quarterback.
And what they won a playoff game? Did they make it?
No, but it was the defense. It wasn't him.
But it's a part of it. It's a part of it.
I have a hard time blaming him for last year at all.
But what about this year?
Because this year he's been hurt. If he wasn't hurt, I think they'd have made the playoffs.
But doesn't when you do the top 5 quarterback thing, don't you work in like availability and things like that?
That's a big part.
They lost games where he was not excellent.
No, obviously Buffalo, and he played against Baltimore. I get all that.
Those games.
Because do you agree though, KW? I know you think it's an impossibility.
Yeah.
That say he wins MVP, and again, I'm not certain he's going to, but for the sake of this, say he wins MVP. If they get clipped in round 1, that changes, and he plays poorly when he hasn't played poorly all year.
Hard to imagine.
I know it's hard for you to imagine.
But I could see us lose,
But okay, but just say they just lose in round 1.
And he's not super.
And he's right. And he's fine. It's not that he melts down, but he's
pedestrian.
Does that at all change this for you?
Yes, it has to.
Okay.
I'm just not ready to crown him after one season.
Well, we got to go to break. So our final too far. We saw MVP under the age of 24. Each guy is headed to the Hall of Fame. He's on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
Well, he would be. He literally would be.
He literally would be on a. I mean, if you win MVP as a
going to the Hall of Fame.
No,
he would be on that trajectory.
Going to the Hall of Fame
That's too far. That's too far.
But trajectory, I think, is correct. Right?
Joe Burrow was on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
Yep.
Still, maybe.
It's a great question.
Right now, Joe Burrow's is no longer on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
When evaluating potential hires for your small business, it's essential you look beyond resumes. Sure, a candidate may appear impressive on paper, but understanding the person is crucial. LinkedIn, the world's largest professional network, provides a complete view of your candidate's skills, experiences, and interests. With LinkedIn's up-to-date data, you can be confident that you really know who you're hiring. Post your free job at linkedin.com/achieve. That's linkedin.com/achieve. Terms and conditions apply.
Live from New York, it's a show that's wishing you a very happy New Year. Happy 2026. I feel great.
Absolutely.
It was a great 2025 with you guys.
Yes.
And
It was.
Josh. Shout out to Josh.
Great year.
It might have been the best year ever for the show.
Wow.
I think it was. And I don't even think might have. I think it was the best year ever for the show.
That's great. Well, thank you. You have a lot of viewing options, so we appreciate you spending some of your time
Yeah.
with us. Second hour, first things first. Today, week 18. Why are we still talking about the Eagles' offensive issues? Is it because our producer is a diehard Eagles fan that uses this show as his personal mouthpiece for gripes? Maybe.
Or is it because they completed 0 passes in the second half? And now, some would say they're benching Jalen Hurts.
Maybe.
Meanwhile, I'm just kidding.
The most literal game of must-win the entire year. An unbelievable.
They got
Points are double.
If the passing game opens up a little bit.
But right now, let me get you up to speed.
That would be bad, though.
Last night in a leather-clad booth without a seafood tower, an elite committee of experts, analysts, and someone who didn't realize that a seafood tower needs to be a tower. You can't just order a non-tower. Oh, it's basically the same. Well, then cornhole and basketball are the same too. The verticality is not a component. It is the component. Fought and toiled and burned the midnight oil to deliver the best segment in all sports. It's an honor and a privilege. I didn't get a tower last night, and I talked about it all week. It's time for Nick's Tears.
Before we get to tears, since Kevin Wildes used his intro to talk about our show dinner last night and used Greg's intro to mock Greg for, listen, I don't know if you guys, if you're watching in 4K or in HD, Greg doesn't just, wake up like this off 4 hours sleep. It takes work, time, effort, and self-care to look the way Greg Jones does. So I don't blame you, buddy. It should be noted that Kevin Wildes, after dinner, but before dessert, took a call from his family, who's out of town, and then came back to the table and says, can I go, guys?
Yeah, there you go.
And I said,
It's been 2 hours.
and I said,
Well,
why?
Am I watching Marty Supreme? We're just chatting.
I said why, and his response was, because my kids are at the Jazz Celtics game.
Yeah.
Which didn't make any sense.
Well,
They're in Utah.
No, they had decent seats.
But what did that mean? You need to
Doesn't
leave.
matter. You ordered something called the Plateau. I wanted tower the whole time. It was like, we'll have the Plateau, and I bit my tongue.
Did you really question whether that was going to be a tower?
It was called the Plateau, and Greg,
more like
a
a
curling
plane.
stone came out. You got to be kidding me.
Time for the tears. No new eliminations because everyone staved it off last week, so it's still those same 16 teams eliminated. Which of these 4 will be the 2 teams to join them? We will show you the facing elimination tier. It's 2 divisions that will only get a team in the playoffs because every division champion must be in the playoffs. 2 divisions where one team is 9-7 trying to hold on, the other team's 8-8 trying to sneak in. Yet, one of the divisions, the NFC South, where everyone agrees, well, that team can't go on a run. The other division, the AFC North, were like, but look out for the Ravens. I don't buy it.
It's true.
This is for our young audience who maybe wasn't familiar with the greatest, in my opinion, sketch comedy show of all time, The Chappelle Show. One of the greatest episodes ever of The Chappelle Show was the Play a Haters Ball. This tier is the first things first Play a Haters Ball, and here's what I mean. We are staring at a likely round 1 of the Chargers going to New England and the Packers going to Chicago to play the Bears. And as my Chiefs will not be playing this weekend, I am telling you, I will, for virtue of really just trying to see Wilds and Danny in pain, be rooting for the Chargers and the Packers as if I have my mortgage on those games and as if I am lifelong fans. As it happens, to me, those are also two teams in the exact same bucket. Had they stayed healthy all year, maybe they would have been real legitimate Super Bowl contenders. I think in the state they currently are in going into the playoffs, they are not real legitimate Super Bowl contenders. Yes, KW.
Danny is a huge Justin Herbert guy, so it feels like he gets one win, one loss. It feels like you should abstain from Chargers-Patriots.
It's interesting you say that. That's why I would need the Packers to beat the Bears, because then Danny's sad no matter what, and the Chargers to beat the Patriots, because your level of it's impossible my team with a quarterback in his first ever playoff game plays poorly.
I haven't seen it.
You also haven't seen him play well in the playoffs. You haven't seen him.
I haven't seen him fly. I'm pretty sure. Like, is there a chance that Drake Maye flies out of the stadium, sprouts wings?
See, this is what I'm saying.
Never seen it.
So
probably
this is what
not.
I'm saying. We know how it ends. Texans, Broncos. We don't know when their seasons will end, but we know why. The Texans and Broncos, who have had exceptional defenses. Broncos been a little shaky as of late, but exceptional defenses and intermittent bouts of good quarterbacking with a lot of lacking quarterbacking and offense as a whole. Whenever their season ends for these two teams, we know what the script will be. And the defense that's been so great all year just, allowed 20 instead of 13, and the offense wasn't quite good enough that day to overcome it. Don't know when it'll end, but we know what the script will be when it does. We have must-win coming up in about 20 minutes. There's only one true must-win these NFL playoffs, and it is the Buffalo Bills. They must, of course, win their first playoff game, or else we haven't talked about it at all. If they were to go one and done after not winning the division, I think Sean McDermott's job is seriously in jeopardy. But then after that, it is this team, which is playing its likely final game ever in its stadium this weekend, because they're not going to have a home playoff game, it would look like, must find a way through the road postseason to get to its first Super Bowl, because they have squandered their moment as the only contending team in their division. They can't also squander their moment of likely the only playoffs Josh Allen will ever play in that Patrick Mahomes is not in. Polar opposites, Bears-Eagles. One team's defense has been the best in the league maybe for 2 months. The other team's defense can't get a stop. One team's head coach has 100% approval rating amongst its fan base. The other team's head coach, just ask our producer Dusty or Eagles fan Kevin Wilds, is on thin ice even though they're the defending Super Bowl champions. One team's quarterback, we know can make the layups, but we question why he doesn't have more explosive plays or consistency to his passing game. The other team's quarterback, we know can do all the explosive plays. We question why he can't make the layups. They have, despite all that, they have the same record. They're the 2-3 or the 3-2, depending on how this weekend goes, and they have very similar Super Bowl odds. How they got here, very different. Where they are actually, as far as chance to win the Super Bowl, very similar. I didn't think Marshall was nice when he named this tier this, and I told him it's not about me, but he said it didn't matter. Insufferability on 1,000. Can you imagine if the year there's no Mahomes, Trevor goes on a run? Can you imagine?
Insufferable.
Can you imagine what it'll be like?
Oh my God.
If next year's football season, instead of, because I've said Patrick's made 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls and won the AFC 3 years in a row. If all of a sudden I'm like, Patrick and Trevor have made 6 of the last 7 Super Bowls, won the AFC 4 years in a row. Oh my goodness. 5 wins away, Kevin Wilds. Because that's what it is. Because this weekend matters. And if you're not, you guys aren't, if you were resting your players, it wouldn't. But assuming, you're double-digit favorites, you can't, losing this weekend would be a canary in the coal mine if you guys play your guys in a game that Vrabel, I think, clearly thinks matters, because being the 2 seed has value versus being the 3 seed, and you have the small chance if Trey Lance can cook something up of maybe even being the 1 seed. You are 5 wins away from immortality and 5 wins away, and you never took it here with the Drake Maye conversation. 5 wins away from Drake Maye being considered the best player in the league.
Well, I didn't have a chance to get through.
But I'm just, you are. You're 5 wins away.
Too far.
Do you want it? You don't want that?
It's just, you know.
He believes it's
Mike
going
Vrabel,
to happen.
We're honestly, all of our attentions right now is on Miami stopping Quinn Ewers. We're just grinding Texas tape.
The hardest path possible. That's what the Rams have gotten themselves. First of all, it's what they've had all year already. One of the hardest schedules any team with this many wins has had in recent history.
Toughest schedule in the league.
Toughest schedule in the league, but then also if we go back years as far as what their strength of schedule is for what they have achieved.
Okay.
And now they are adding to that path potentially on the road against the defending Super Bowl champs in round 1. Then on the road against maybe the 1 seed in round 2, and on the road in round 3. It didn't have to be this hard. It now is going to be this hard. It also would make it to where if this team ends up winning the Super Bowl, one of the most impressive start to finish as far as who you beat and list of wins and where they took place seasons of the last decade in the NFL, but the path is not going to be easy. No one saw this coming. Nobody. Before the year, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch were talking about how this could be a, on the fly, not rebuild, but retooling season. After we talked about the Niners a ton all offseason, we didn't talk about it that much on the show because it didn't feel like, with all the injuries, with the quarterback being hurt, with Bosa, with Warner, with Brandon Ayuk, did he quit football?
What's going on?
Seems like it.
And yet they're a win away from being the 1 seed in the toughest division in football. Nobody saw this coming. And in what I think should be a bigger story, deja vu all over again for Sam Darnold. Last year, Sam Darnold walked into Week 18 with the best record in the conference to face a team that he had lost to earlier in the season. This time he had to face them on the road. If they won, he was going to be the 1 seed and have the bye. If they lost, he was going to be the 5 seed despite having 14 wins. The exact same thing is happening to Sam Darnold this year. You win the game, you're the 1 seed, the best record in football. Playoffs come through you. You lose, you're on the road starting in round 1, and it's all almost for naught. Last year, he responded in that game by going 18 of 41 for a $166 and a 55 rating. And that wasn't even the worst game he played in a 10-game stretch because the playoff game was next. But right now, the Seattle Seahawks are the best team in the NFL. And can Sam Darnold learn from what happened last year, deliver on Saturday night, and deliver the Seahawks the 1 seed? Those are the committee's tiers, Greg.
Wow, excellent.
Yeah, really good tiers. Look, it's interesting. If we can put the tiers back up, I'm going to talk about a team that is very fitting to move up, and the line actually fits.
Wow.
Insufferability on 1,000. The Chicago Bears.
Oh, about Danny.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my goodness.
It's very fitting. But this team,
that's fair.
It's tough for me to even talk about it because it is the Bears. But the reality is, outside of Josh Allen, entering the playoffs, they have the scariest quarterback in football that will be in the playoffs. I'm not talking about I'm not saying the best, the scariest. If he has the ball last, you are on the edge of your seat like we all were when we were watching them against the 49ers. And he almost did it again. Yeah. This is what we have to look forward to. This team will go as Caleb goes. I don't care how bad their run defense is, how bad their pass defense is. They find ways to take away the ball, which is what you want as a defense. Obviously, you got to get some stops. But if he gets the ball with that play caller and head coach and Ben Johnson, with the mentality that they all share, his progression, his maturity, his just belief in don't give me the ball last or I'm going to deliver. This team has a chance to do something very special. Wow. So for that reason, again, polar opposites of the Eagles, it's very fitting. Also, if they move up, insufferability on 1,000.
You're right about that.
Danny would be
KW, why do you?
I saw him throw an interception against the Packers to lose the game, and he had last pass of the last.
But didn't hold on?
I'm not saying he's
but doesn't don't they have the most wins in the final 2 minutes? Didn't you show that stat as something that was bad?
Similar.
I don't think that's a good stat.
No, I'm saying the player himself being one of the scariest quarterbacks. Who would you say?
Dynamic.
Outside of
Stafford, I would say.
No, you would not say Stafford is scarier.
Really?
Why I'm not saying better. Stafford is not scarier than Caleb.
Here's the difference to me. Stafford might carve you up for 4 quarters. Yeah, Caleb might carve you up in the last 4 minutes.
But that's, I think, what Greg's saying.
And it's got to be close enough.
But
with that defense, they have to be within a touchdown.
And it has been.
Can I just address what you were saying? Because KW, I agree with you that having to have all these final 2-minute comeback wins is potential, more than a warning flag about the quality of the team. Mm-hmm. But in my opinion, it's not fair to point out the 2 times that Caleb had those opportunities and didn't come through as bad, and then the 6 times when he had those opportunities and did come through as also bad. So, you're right. Against the Packers and against the Niners, he had an opportunity to be 8-0 in those situations, but being 6-2 in those spots again.
Nice. I think the Packers' throw was overrated.
The Packers' throw was overrated.
The throw to beat the Packers in overtime.
The difficulty.
Why?
Because I felt like they were just going to walk down and kick a field goal. They decided to go for a big
Drake
kill.
Maye made that.
You can't.
That's a little hate.
I'm just telling. It's like hitting a game-winning shot when it's a tie game. I'm like, you guys were going to probably win anyways. They were driving the field.
They weren't driving the field. They were at midfield.
They were moving the ball. They got the ball at midfield.
Right, so they weren't moving the ball. It was the first play of the drive, wasn't it?
They were going to drive. I'm just saying it was overrated play, in my opinion. Wow. I don't view it as an iconic play. I view it as you decided to go for a touchdown rather than a field goal.
I don't view it as an iconic.
I mean, iconic. There's a difference between iconic and you're just assuming that was outdoors in the winter. Cairo Santos was just going to.
It's a very nice play.
It was on the money.
It was a nice play. They could have kicked a field goal.
Maybe.
1 minute later.
They weren't in field goal range, and they have to make the. I don't even understand this take.
I thought it was overrated. There's nothing to understand about it. I thought it was overrated.
It's pure hater.
All right, go ahead.
That was a nice little pass.
It was a second-year quarterback.
It's unbelievable. It's nobody but Drake Maye and the Patriots are allowed to be
He's
good
the only good quarterback.
It was good. I'm just saying it was an amazing play in a game. I think the Bears were going to win once they got the ball.
So it was an amazing play, or it was a nice little play?
Both. It's a nice.
Go ahead,
cute,
bro.
Right?
It was amazing, but you could have also done nice little stuff.
All right, can we stop? Dusty's gonna love this. Can we stop the hating on the Eagles?
Dusty's not going to love it. He does not believe in this team.
Move the Eagles up.
To where?
Now, I will say this. It is difficult to pick the best team in the NFL right now because it's all a mishmash, right? So I'm not going to hate on – I don't think Seattle's the best, but if you want to have them up number 1, that's fine. But what I am saying is that the Eagles should be up there.
Above Chicago, who housed them?
Yeah. Above the Rams, who they housed.
They didn't house the Rams. There was a blocked field goal.
They put 33 points on them.
It was the fight. The Rams are kicking a field goal to beat them.
A W is a W.
I understand, but they didn't house them.
And the Eagles
kicking a field goal to beat them.
And here's the thing, too. They are not paying the head coach to be polite. All right?
What are
I
they
get
paying
it
him
that
to
he's
do?
uncouth. I get it that he might have a big mouth and say stuff that, after games in the tunnel, who talking now, or whatever he's saying.
Yeah.
Maybe he rubs some of the players the wrong way. The dude wins football games. That's all I'm paying him for. I mean, as long as he's not out there breaking the law and all that, he wins football games. That is undeniable. So I'm not here for the Sirianni hate. I'm not saying he's Bill Belichick. I'm just saying he wins. And they weren't winning before he got there. They were a 4-win team. Jalen Hurts was, who knew? Who knows what Jalen Hurts was? Most people thought he wasn't even a starter in this league. He has helped make Jalen Hurts, put him on a future Hall of Fame trajectory. All right? And so, and they have beaten, they're about to be 12-5, or maybe since they're resting guys, they'll be 11-6, against the 4th best schedule in the league. The 4th best schedule. They have beaten those Rams that are above them. All right? They have beaten the Packers when they had Micah and Jordan Love. All right? They are a team to be reckoned with. They have gone into Buffalo, and yeah, it wasn't pretty, it wasn't handsome, but they beat the Bills in Buffalo. That has to give them something. The defense is legit. I know Wallace is starting to come over. The defense is legit, and they have a quarterback that we know is not afraid of, not only not afraid of the big moment, but will deliver in the big. He has stared Patrick Mahomes in the face when other quarterbacks have shriveled and beating. So they should move up.
So can I make? So I think they're plenty high. I am on the same tier as a team that beat them. That has the same record. Every team above them does happen to have a better record.
They got this. Don't they have the same record as the Rams?
No.
Yes. 11. Both
oh yeah,
11
you're right. Yeah.
And they beat
correct.
the Rams.
I do have a request. If Steve Kerr had retired after the 2020 season, which is the year Steph had the broken hand and they won like 19 games and a coach took over, I think it'd be kind of crazy. But I'm like, that coach took over a 19-win Warriors team and look what he built.
Who was hurt?
Hold on. You always say this Eagles team was this train wreck that he took over. They were a perennial Super Bowl contender who had won the Super Bowl. Yes, they had one down year, but this was not like a remaking. They had made the playoffs and won playoff games multiple years in a row. They had won a Super Bowl. They then had a year from hell. So
why did they only win 4 games that year?
Because Doug Peterson did a terrible job. They had quarterback injuries.
The Super Bowl winning Doug Peterson?
Yes. The same reason that I think
Carson
they might fire
Wentz, who got them to that Super Bowl,
I just think
was there.
I just think you acting like Sirianni took over this terrible franchise. I just think
we
it's
didn't
not
know
accurate.
what Jalen Hurts was.
I agree with that, but we knew
they
the
were
Eagles
literally a 4-win team.
perennial playoff team prior to their one down year. That's the only.
I think they won 9 games before
and
the
a
year
playoff
before
game.
that.
The year
but
before that, they won the
games,
Super Bowl.
You can't look. The fact is, they won 4 games.
Okay.
And it wasn't like everybody was hurt.
Okay.
And they fired the coach.
Yes.
I mean, they were literally rebuilding, if you will.
Go ahead, kid.
I'm moving the Broncos up. The Seahawks and the 49ers are battling for the 1 seed. The Broncos almost have the number 1 seed wrapped up, yet they're far down the tiers. I don't know where I want to move them up. Probably, I'll be honest with you, maybe I'll move them ahead of the Patriots just because I'm a fan of the standings. I have to give Bo Nix his credit, similar to Sirianni. Like, you might be like, when I watch it, it doesn't look good. The guy is about to have the most, if they beat the Chargers, he's about to have the most wins of any quarterback ever in their first 2 seasons. It's something.
And they were a mess before he got there.
Yes.
I mean, literally.
I don't necessarily want to go back in the time machine. They were. All right, here's the other thing, and I don't know, this is a little personal story.
That's a good list.
The Broncos lost to the Jags, and it's like, that's like a terrible loss. That
they got blown out by the Jags.
I totally get it. The Rams lost to the Falcons, and it felt like, stuff happens. What are you going to do? It's almost like because the Falcons are bad, we just totally don't even talk. Like, it's just, they weren't ready for the game. Bijan ran for 200-something yards, or almost 200. But so we just don't count that as much as the Jags exposing the Broncos. It's not viewed as an aberration game. It's viewed as an exposure.
I don't think that's what it is. I think it's that the week before the Rams lost, and I did drop the Rams, but the week before the Rams lost to the Falcons, they played an unbelievable epic, we called it Game of the Year, 38-37 against a great team. The week after the Broncos got housed by the Jags, they played whatever is left of the Chiefs on national TV, and we all saw it be tied 13-13 with minutes left, and you came in the next day and said the Broncos are not good.
They barely beat, but the Chiefs were playing. The Chiefs' defense was playing crazy. They were playing with the heart of a champion.
I don't know where we want the Broncos. I'm not putting them ahead of the Jags.
They're the number one seed.
It's not the standings. You should know.
Nobody can beat them.
You know who can? The Jags.
Well, you know who can beat the Rams, the Falcons.
Then say the Rams. And drop the Rams down. Then drop the Rams down if that's the argument.
Well, we just don't care about that game.
Here's to quitting. Quitting the couch for a quick run. Quitting the snooze button for a morning workout. Quitting giving up after 2 weeks. You see, staying committed to your fitness goals isn't easy. But with Apple Watch, you don't have to do it alone. Because Apple Watch gives you real-time motivation, plus advanced metrics that track all your workouts, so you can stick to your New Year's fitness resolutions. And once and for all, quit quitting with Apple Watch. iPhone 11 or later required.
Trust and Will Holiday Bowl, Arizona, SMU, January 2nd, 2026, 7:30 Eastern on Fox. Welcome back to First Things First. 2 literal must-wins as we head into the final week. These are all double the points, okay, gentlemen? So be on top of your game. First up, Ravens at Steelers Sunday night, literal must-win. Week 14, Rodgers wins
Tyler
by
Huntley behind Lamar.
5, yes.
Graphic.
Yes, Lamar is at practice, but we don't know his status for the game. Steelers only ran for 34 yards, but Rodgers did get the W. It's a literal must-win, bro. But who is it a must-win for? You won last week, so you can pass or play.
Well, look, this is simple. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers needs it. Obviously, Lamar Jackson needs it. But the one man whose job is on the line, John Harbaugh. It is the biggest must-win for him. Lamar is Lamar. He's headed to the Hall of Fame. He's got his MVPs. He's not going anywhere. Even if he does, it'll be great for him. Aaron, fantastic career, can walk away, has not, as we said earlier, tarnished his legacy with this season, even if they don't make the playoffs. John Harbaugh, good chance he would get fired, or a chance, I should say. He would get fired, and they would be starting a new next season. And he'd have to live with, man, I had one of the greatest quarterbacks ever and couldn't win a Super Bowl with him. So must win for John.
Low energy start.
Just facts, baby.
I'm just saying.
I know I usually bring stylistic.
This is a double must win. It's clear and obvious a double must win. When you look at the Steelers, it's a must win in a sense of Aaron Rodgers asked for this. He said, you know what? I wanted to come to a team, an organization that was going to be playing for things at the end of the season. Well, you're playing for everything, literally, even how you leave your legacy. Your legacy is pretty much cemented, but you can add to that if you do it the right way by getting a win against the Baltimore Ravens and winning that division. On the flip side, Lamar Jackson has been in question. John Harbaugh has been in question all season. Who are we going to get? Even when you look at Monken and his play calling, are you going to lean into Derrick Henry? This is a must win. So if you do win, we know what you're going to look like moving into the postseason. If you don't, you might as well start packing your bag. John Harbaugh, I don't believe he will be back in a loss.
He's all over the place.
He's not all over the place, but unfortunately, neither of you guys were all-encompassing enough. It is the actually unprecedented KW. Double, triple must win. On the Steelers side of things, it is, I don't know if you guys saw Mike Tomlin's job could be in question if they lose, or to where he would like to maybe step aside, do TV. Those little rumblings are getting louder. For the Steelers, it is Tomlin. It is Rodgers for all obvious reasons. He came there to make the playoffs, and a name you guys haven't mentioned, DK Metcalf. Because if they win, then he gets a bit of a reprieve, he can make up for it in the playoffs. That's on the Steelers side. On the Ravens side, you guys talked about Harbaugh and Lamar. That part's obvious. The one person you guys haven't mentioned who has been Charlie Brown with the football, and this team has been Lucy all year, that man right there, Chris Broussard, who all year long has been like, I'm not pulling out the robe. I'm not going to have my heart broken again. And then all week has bought all the way back in. It is the first ever double, triple must win.
Exactly right. The unprecedented double, triple must win is what we were looking for.
Thank you.
Double points again. So you actually got 2 points there. Next up, the battle for the number 1 seed. Seahawks favored in San Francisco. Brock versus Purdy, who was doing the Dougie. I didn't know that should be our permanent Brock photo. Ranks this season, 49ers offense, excellent. Look at their third down percentage. Gets it done. Seahawks defense, also excellent. Greg, who is this a must-win for?
It's a must-win for Sam Darnold.
Solid answer.
Exercising demons has seemed to be the theme for Sam Darnold all season long. And this, as Nick mentioned in the tiers, he gets another opportunity to exercise demons. But even more importantly, this team obviously is going to the postseason. How they enter the postseason matters. If Sam Darnold, who they believe in as a team, I'm not so sure if they believe in him and he has the confidence even in himself, if he doesn't exercise those demons against this team and win this game the same way he should have won against Detroit last year, but he didn't. If he doesn't exercise these demons, I don't know if we believe in this team. I don't know if he believes truly in himself going into the postseason.
I would just maybe add, if we're going to talk about exercising demons, you could add it in, and this is the guy who saw ghost demons, it fits in. But yes, obviously I agree with Greg, which is why I said all of that during
supernatural
stuff.
You could have called Dusty like, hey, can we have a sound go, ooh?
Obviously, it's a must-win for Sam Darnold for the reasons Greg said, which are the reasons I said.
Only because
it is.
You got to speak first, but you're going to copy everything I said.
Yeah, you knew the Seahawks were going to be on there somewhere.
Savage.
I am going to add, though, someone else this is a must-win for. KW.
You're like a one-trick pony. You didn't really
Greg
this
is next.
A positive. Okay. And maybe Greg was going to be next. You have batted your eyelashes at being the show's Sam Darnold guy.
Not the Sam Darnold guy.
But you just think 14 wins and 4,000 yards is nothing to throw a stick at. Yeah, I know. We've heard you say it for a year. He has a chance for another 14 wins now, 4,000 yards, and actually the number 1 seed. And I feel like your NFC allegiances are potentially available, as your faith in the Eagles is wavering, and Brew is trying to potentially have an Eagles-Niners combo pack in the NFC. So for you as well.
Okay.
It's a must-win for my man Brock Purdy.
Oh, you're in the Dougie.
All right,
I thought you were doing
Brock Purdy. He is winning people over. He's won Nick Wright over, one of his biggest detractors. If Brock Purdy, they're 7-1 with Brock. If they get the number 1 seed, and I get it, credit to your boy Mac for playing well and holding down the fort. But if he goes out there and play, he's going to have to play well for them to beat Seattle. He goes out there and cooks again against them. Remember, he threw the game-winning pass against them in week 1. Then what are we going to say about Brock? He's been to a Super Bowl. He's turned this into a very strong season for himself and would ended up with the number 1 seed by beating Seattle, a team that people think is the best in the league. Oh, Nick would give him plenty of love.
You had me at the Dougie. 2 points for Nick, 2 points for Brew. But Greg, you are in luck. This is the bonus round. Everything worth double. Week 18, this is worth 6 points. Panthers, Bucks.
Nick's turn, I think.
Big Show trying to salvage a season which has gone off the rails. Their Week 16 matchup was decided by 3 points and 21 total yards. Baker interception on that final drive. That's the one that hurt your feelings.
Yeah, it cost me a lot of money.
Who is this a must-win for?
obviously Todd Bowles' job could be on the line because of this collapse. Baker Mayfield, who we thought was going to be in line for the real quarterback contract 2 months ago, now he's probably going to have to keep playing at that, 3-year, $100 million one, play that one out, if that, because this would be an all-time collapse. But you guys are correct. The first one was a must-win for Brew. Second one was a must-win for you. This one, must-win for your old buddy Nick Wright. Because we have had some Super Bowl predictions gone awry. Mm-hmm. Most famously, Kevin Wildes' Cardinals-Dolphins Super Bowl pick from a few years ago, which was historically embarrassing because neither team made the playoffs. We thought that would never happen again. I have Chiefs-Bucks in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are long eliminated. If the Bucks miss the playoffs, I then all of a sudden am alongside your Cardinals-Dolphins pick, which what?
Cardinals-Dolphins. How did I pick the Dolphins?
Because you thought we were crazy for saying Tua's an injury risk and noodle armed, and you were like, no, he led the league in passing, and you wanted to be popular in Arizona because the Super Bowl was there.
We had a
And you liked Kyler. You picked
There is
Kyler.
debate over that.
Yeah.
It was such a bad prediction, we didn't think you were serious.
No, but he was serious.
That's the thing.
We're limited time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm just going to cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Bryce Young.
Okay.
Bryce has not had a glowing 3 years. We all know that. But what is the thing we measure quarterbacks by?
Not height.
Can you win? If he leads this team to the playoffs, after cooking against the Rams, everybody's juggernaut, led by everybody's All-American. My goodness. I get it. I wouldn't give him a long-term contract yet, but he gains some time. Now I'm like, okay, maybe. He might be our guy.
We're stuck in okay, maybe mode with Bryce.
Yes, we are. But if he loses this game and it's just another bad below 500 season for this team, we might not even be stuck in maybe mode. We might be show him the door. So Bryce Young, got to deliver.
All right, Greg.
This is a must-win for the Bucs. Look, let's be honest. The Bucs, we would at least give them a chance to possibly win a playoff game.
Yeah.
If the Panthers get in, nobody's believing in the Panthers to win a playoff game with Bryce Young at quarterback. Sorry, Brew.
They beat the Rams.
Even if he wins,
they beat the Rams.
It's not going to end well for the Panthers and Bryce Young. So this is a must-win for every person outside of Kevin Wildes that doesn't like to be seen as a villain, that wants to watch really good football. The Bucs versus anybody, we still feel like it will be a decent game.
They beat the Rams and the Bucs beat the Seahawks, bro. They both have a win over a great
That's
team.
when the Bucs were a good team. They're not a good team anymore.
Believe it or not, this was worth 6 points.
6 points.
Yeah, it's double. Brew takes it home, calling the Rams everybody's juggernaut.
Yes, baby!
He didn't even try.
Yeah,
he didn't even
You know
try.
how long it took me to come up with everybody's juggernaut?
Led by everybody's All-American.
Yes!
I gotta start having a little bit more enthusiasm for when I win.
I got bars. You need bars.
No, you actually.
He hit the Dougie.
Are you a forward thinker? Then you need an HR and finance platform that thinks like you do. Workday is the AI platform that helps propel your organization, your workforce, and your industry into the future. Workday, moving business forever forward.
Primetime hoops on Fox. Big Ten showdown. Number 5, Purdue taking on the Wisconsin Badgers. All tips off at 8 p.m. Eastern. That is Saturday on Fox. Welcome back to First Things First. Eagles offense, 174 yards in the first half, 16 in the second half. Now, maybe Buffalo's defense stepped up. Maybe the Eagles' offense fell apart. Maybe both. Here's the Eagles' offensive coordinator on running the ball into unfavorable looks, Greg. Take a listen.
There was a couple plays where we were just running to run it, right? And so we got to do a good job of making sure we put everybody in the best position to do what they need to do, and then we have to execute that play once we get those called. So, some runs are, hey, we're running it no matter what. Some other things have some options off it. It just depends on how the play goes in.
Greg, your reaction to that?
Look, I don't mind that. That happens. You call plays that are plays as you're going to run it. And he's spot on with that. But if you listen to that entire presser, he just doesn't exude confidence in his ability and their ability as an offensive unit to just simply execute what he's going in the huddle with or he's sending in the huddle. That's an issue if you're a player, because I don't believe or I don't have confidence with the play caller or the play that you're sending in because you don't believe in it. You don't get a sense that he believes in this play. He believes in the players trying to make it work. I believe that. But if I don't believe in this product, the system, then I'm always trying to make it work. He talked about first and second down. And yes, everyone knows you want to be ahead of the sticks. Everyone knows that. But that doesn't mean you give up on third down. And that's what it feels like when you listen to him talk. First down, we got behind. We didn't have a great first down play. And then second down, this didn't work out. And we thought we had it, but we didn't. Now it limits what you can do on third down. Does it? You have weapons everywhere you look up. Every single down is an opportunity for you to have an excellent play. When you look at that offense, there is no excuse. And so when we've seen this offense thrive, when we knew those run it plays last year that we saw or we hear him talk about, they ran those plays and they just absolutely worked. Why? Because of the guys in that huddle believed in Saquon and they believed in each other and they made it work. This year, it's like, wait, we're doing the same thing that we did last year. Obviously, teams are going to know that. They're going to play for that. You have to come up with a different creative way of formation variation, even if it is the same play. The formation variation matters. We don't see any of that. And so I'm not putting it exclusively on Patullo because I think that's unfair. But he definitely holds a great deal of this blame.
Yeah, I agree. He's a huge problem. There's no question about it. I don't think he's done a good job, but I can't put it all on him because, one, we've seen them struggle offensively under different coordinators. Kellen Moore last year. I mean, these same questions were there. I think they averaged a point more last season. At least at one point that was the case. Maybe it's now 2 points, whatever. But so I put some of it on the players as well. Jalen Hurts is a bit inconsistent. I think he's very clutch. I think he's a very good leader, and he's a winner. But he's obviously, that's without saying, been inconsistent. Saquon has not been the same. The offensive line, Lane Johnson's been out, which is huge for them. Their record is bad when he doesn't play. So I think some of it's on the players as well. But I would put, if I had to name one person and only one, I would say the OC Patullo.
Can I add an element that I think's been under-discussed? They don't believe in the tush push anymore, and it changes how they run third down.
That's a great take because it's gone away.
So one of the most frustrating things about playing the Eagles the 3 years prior to this was their 3rd and 8s and 3rd and 6s were different than every other team. Because 3rd and 8, if the team drops back to pass, you defend the sticks, assuming you're on the minus side of the field where you're in punt situation. But you couldn't do that against Philly because Philly would get 6.5 yards on 3rd and 8 and be like, awesome. Tush push it. Doesn't matter where we're at. They also, 3rd and 8s, you show soft fronts because you're not going to run it. You're not going to get 8 yards. Philly would run it. Sometimes would pop it. But if not, again, get 6-7 yards, we're fine with it. The tush push has not been as successful this year. They finally, a couple weeks ago, got flagged for the false start. Oddly, it was one of the times where I actually think they did it legally, but they got flagged for it, because the officials can't do it. And I think it has really impacted their confidence in what we can do in regular 3rd and mediums. And I think that has – I don't think that's the biggest – right. I don't think that's been the biggest factor. But I think that's been an underrated part of why they have so many 3-and-outs.
I think that's a great take because not only does it impact what you do third down, it impacts your first and second down approach as well. And so if you're going into games believing the tush push is automatic, you really don't feel like you're going to be behind the sticks
ever
Ever.
Because you have an extra down.
And you're preparing to go into these games with that mentality. That's just natural, and I get that. But knowing it's been failing all season, you got to prepare for that.
Live from New York, it's a show that's welcoming Danny Parkins onto the set. Danny, it's great to see you. Longtime radio star in Chicago.
Kevin Wildes, it's good to see you.
Wow, great to see you. We had dinner last night. Danny was like, you have to do a better job introducing you to my resume.
That is not the
sequence
of events that led us to that point, but that's okay.
I'll do a better job.
What did you think of when we were about 10 minutes away from all leaving together and Wildes just announces to the table, can I leave now, guys, to go to an empty house by myself?
I was ready to go.
He's an old man who was tired.
We were there for 2.5 hours. You guys were drinking grappa or something.
Yeah, they're having an after-dinner cocktail.
They brought dessert. Was he there for the dessert?
No, I was waiting for the dessert.
They brought free dessert.
I was waiting for the cheesecake to show up.
It did. Thanks to Caleb and thanks to Brew.
Today, is Danny not supporting Caleb? I really don't.
Is that possible? Really?
Stay tuned. We got a monologue here on what Caleb's nickname is versus what it should be. Yeah.
At the end of the show. I thought you were talking about here with us.
No.
That's a bummer.
Wow.
Just sit here and watch
participate in the 8 o'clock.
Meanwhile, one of the coolest stats about Matthew Stafford you've ever seen in your whole life.
That's right.
Making stats cool. Capital S on the stats. But right now,
that's the first step.
Footage from today of Lamar Jackson at practice.
This guy.
We are so back.
Brew, not Lamar.
We are so back.
Ravens in Pittsburgh, win in, you're in. Danny, we'll start with you. Is this game more about Lamar or Aaron Rodgers?
So to me, it's more about Lamar because there is some question about his future. With the immediate future of how good is he, how healthy is he, how happy is he with the Ravens, is he okay with his coach, and then what are they going to do? Lamar will be a huge talking point for us this offseason, pretty much regardless of how the next couple of weeks goes. Aaron Rodgers' story, I think we should have universal agreement on. One of the most talented players in the history of the sport, a 4-time MVP, who now no longer goes out with like an embarrassing final chapter. Like the Jets' final chapter would have been embarrassing. He hasn't been a distraction. He hasn't said ridiculous things. He had a winning record, and it was a normal season for Pittsburgh. So I just don't think the last technical game for Aaron Rodgers' career is that big of a story. His career is a huge story, but we have a lot more questions about Lamar Jackson than we do Aaron Rodgers at this point.
I agree with you, B, but slightly different reason. Rodgers, it's over. Even if they win, nobody's going to think they can do anything in the playoffs. And I get some people feel that way about the Ravens. But because of Lamar Jackson, he's in his prime, because of what he's done in the past, I think there will be a lot of people that feel like, oh, man, the Ravens, they're coming in with some momentum. Lamar, assuming he plays well against the Steelers and they win, is playing well. Derrick Henry's had some great games. I think for the league, if the Ravens win this game and Lamar plays well, it really starts some antennas raised.
The league is rooting for Pittsburgh.
Yes.
I disagree with you guys on that, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just think for Pittsburgh, if they make the playoffs, they're what they were last year. I know Rodgers is better than Fields and Russell Wilson, but nobody's scared of them, I don't think. So even in that weak AFC playoff field.
This is where I think Wildes, you and I might be aligned, but maybe your affinity, and I don't say that in a negative way, for Lamar makes us not aligned on this. Why are the Ravens, for the 2025 season, some scary potential juggernaut in waiting, and the Steelers, who played the Ravens this month and beat them, who have a better record, who have played the same schedule essentially, you know what I mean, for the most part, who have been the at least slightly more consistent team and certainly healthier at the most important position. why is one team, well, if they get in, the whole league's the league is worried about the Ravens getting in.
The quarterback.
But again, so I don't think the league looks at Lamar Jackson in the playoffs as, God, we got to keep him out. Like we're wish casting.
You think Houston feels like they got the answer to Lamar Jackson?
Houston, I think, would look at whether they are going to Pittsburgh or to Baltimore very similarly. We are a road team that should go win that game. We're better than that team.
Whose best has been best this year? Because you got to be at your best for 4 games. Like, I would say that the Ravens.
What is the Ravens' best? I'd love to hear it. Tell me the Ravens' best game. And let's talk about it.
They haven't put it together.
They haven't put it together, but you talk a lot about the Chiefs' pedigree of the past. The
Ravens' pedigree is playoff failure. The Ravens' pedigree is getting worse in the postseason.
What's the Steelers' pedigree?
The mediocrity.
Like not winning. That's
correct.
For sure. Losing the playoff game.
Yes.
That's not the Ravens' pedigree recently is certainly better than the Steelers.
The Ravens' postseason pedigree recently, yes, I agree. I don't think either one is. I think the Chiefs' example is a red herring because the Chiefs were coming off unprecedented, even by Patriot standards, postseason success over a half-decade stretch. You just said whose best is best. Like it is New Year's Eve. The 2025 season is wrapping up. What is the moment from this season where that's when the Ravens put it all together? I don't know. It hasn't happened with Lamar at quarterback. I know that.
So do you think Lamar Jackson is no longer a great quarterback?
I think this season Lamar Jackson is not a great quarterback.
He was great early on. He had a 5-game stretch of horrible play.
Yes.
He's been all right the last few games. I'm just saying, but unless you feel like he's done.
No.
Not done, but he's 29 years old. He's still in his prime.
Yes.
I agree with you that we haven't seen the true Lamar for a while, but because of his age, I feel like the potential is there.
No,
it could pop any moment. Rodgers is not about to pop any moment.
Rodgers Wild showed it. Was coming off his best 3 games of the year. The Steelers are coming off their best 3 games of the year. The Steelers were, and again, I don't believe in either one of these teams, to be clear. I'm not all of a sudden arguing that I think the Steelers are some dangerous team. I just think that it is, when we say the Ravens' best this year have been losses.
Right, like week 1 against Buffalo.
Make the argument.
Pounding
and this
Cincinnati.
is what I said before. Why I was scared of the Ravens when the Patriots played the Ravens. The Ravens are a poorly dressed guy. That being because nothing ever matches. But I feel like come playoff time, hey, here's what you do. You take these pants, your best playoff game, your best defense, and then match it with your best Lamar game and take off that silly hat, which is the turnovers, and then you have a full outfit. They haven't been able to put it together. Lamar was bad. The defense is great. Right. Lamar is great. The defense is bad. If they can just put it together and eliminate the turnovers, that is a very scary team.
Nick, that's not to mention Derrick Henry either. He by himself is scary.
I think Derrick Henry is a great player. I think that a lot of people believe Lamar he wasn't playing poorly, he was just hurt. Well, he just suffered a new injury that was big enough he missed their biggest game of the year. And that we were all, curious to see whether or not he was going to practice
I like the fact that he's rested throughout.
But this feels to me like this isn't just about Lamar to me. I think the Ravens defense, I know the numbers have been good. I just watched them in a must-win game that we thought they had to have or they weren't going to be able to make the playoffs, blow a double-digit lead to a playoff caliber team in New England in the fourth quarter. We know they have that in them. We just saw them do that. I just watched Malik Willis play himself into maybe a $25 million contract by completing 90 or 85% of his passes for 3 quarters until he got hurt against them in a different must-win game.
And you just watched him shut out Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
I don't put that.
I don't.
I'm just saying that's a fact too.
Yes, they absolutely did. But it would be just crazy to me if I said, guys, the reason, and again, right now it doesn't work because he's past his prime, but if 4 years ago I was like, Danny, the reason I think this is going to be the year that James Harden's scary is because he had a bad regular season. All those years he's fallen off in the playoffs, he was having an MVP caliber regular season. But now that he had a below his standards injury-riddled regular season,
that's totally
this is
different.
Why?
Because football is about contact and collisions, and basketball is totally different. And Lamar's postseason record is not as long as James Harden's. James Harden, it was a decade plus before we finally were like, you know what, he's just not going to get it done in the playoffs. Lamar, give him 5 more years like this, and it will be like he just don't do it in the playoffs.
Do you think, like, obviously any team can play the best version of themselves in any given week, right? So, like, if I was just going to tell you on Sunday night, the Steelers are going to play an A game and the Ravens are going to play an A game, who wins?
The Steelers.
Really?
The Steelers.
How?
Can I say
they just played
without DK
and
Metcalf?
they
Their A
barely
game
won.
is not available.
There's a
DK
controversial drop pass away from
not
losing
available.
that game.
Say it again.
Without DK Metcalf, the Steelers' A game is off the board.
Okay.
He had 140. It was his most targets, most catches, most yards all year against the Ravens. So that's gone. Right. So it's like Adam Thielen, take us home.
To be clear, I don't think either of these teams are contenders either. But if I got their A game, I think the Ravens
think Lamar's A game because if I thought Lamar were fully healthy, full go, we were getting the week 1 pre-hamstring Lamar that we saw leading into the Chiefs game briefly. And then, obviously, the Ravens' A game is scarier. We are hanging he was coming off his worst 5-game stretch since ever.
Yeah.
Then he was 8 for 12 in the Cincy game, right? Was that
he
the
played
game?
well that game.
Right, but it was 12
yards.
passes, and he definitely played well. And then 7 for 10 in a game that he got hurt again, missed a game from. And to me, it's wish casting that the Ravens' best game involves Lamar Jackson being Lamar Jackson. Since that Chiefs game, that player has not been here. All that's happened is more injuries to him. And we are more recently removed to the best Aaron Rodgers we've seen as a Steeler, which was leading into the Browns game. That's what
I just don't think they need Lamar at his best to beat Pittsburgh. Because if you got Derrick Henry at his best, I think that's enough to beat the Steelers.
I don't know. All right now, well, buckle up. I know you're thinking, man, stats aren't cool. I've seen guys who talk about stats, accountants. They're just not cool. Well, I'm here to tell you that you're dead wrong. And here to prove it is Danny in the coolest segment in all of sports called Packed Stats. This thing gets cooler and cooler, dude, and I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm happy to be here, hanging out with friends. It's cool.
Thanks.
Week 18, brought my stats. You guys know what else is cool?
No.
Dependability.
That's true.
That is true.
I just like knowing what I can depend on.
That's cool, man.
And Brew was like, Danny, why do you still like the Rams so much? Because they're dependable. They have only been outscored by 17 points in their 5 losses this season. So I can depend on the Rams being in every game. That's the second smallest margin of defeat for a 5-loss team in NFL history. They're either going to win the game or barely lose. Those 5 losses to the Eagles, Niners, Panthers, Seahawks, and Falcons. They're going to be in every game, Brew. That's why I believe in them. They're dependable.
Here's the problem, though. You know what you can't depend on? Their defense. Matt Stafford can keep them in games, but the defense might give it up. Here's their stats. Yeah, they started out hot. That's why they were everybody's juggernaut. But now, look at that, 28th, 29th, tied for 26th, 25th.
That's a cool grade.
That's dependable. How you like that?
That's cool. Brew, you know what's uncool? Calling out your friends in public. And I might just briefly, tepidly, do it to you right here, Brew. Because we have let Brew get away with something. We have let Brew neg everyone's best team without ever saying who he thinks the best team is. Because I don't think Brew thinks there's a best team.
No, it's wide
open. That's why we play. That's why we have the Super Bowl. That's why we have have
be
the
a
Super
team
Bowl.
that right
point by
now has the best.
It's
resume.
wide open. We just said it's wide
He
open.
won't
Talk
say
about
it.
Captain Easy
So
stance over there.
he's
Yeah,
just
that's not the
saying
best team.
this
Who
is
is?
13 wins.
No matter who, because he won't say the Pats.
Nope.
The Wilds doesn't have the best team either. Who's the best team?
The Patriots are the best team.
He thinks it's the Patriots.
We could have gone undefeated.
He really does think it's the Wilds will say the Patriots. Brew doesn't want to believe in Darnold. He's not there. He's
not there on the Broncos.
You're right. He's just not there.
That's why I'm excited about the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's going to tell us.
We're going to find out. We're going to find out who the best team is.
That's cool. That was cool. What else? Do you have any other cool stuff?
I'm glad you asked.
Oh, great.
You guys know what else is cool? Well, I need my lights first.
Yeah, we need our lights. We got to pull off this. There we go.
Darkness is cool.
Yeah.
Darkness.
Darkness. You know what else is cool?
What?
History.
I agree with that.
If the standings hold as they are today, we will make history for these NFL playoffs with the 1 and 2 seeds in each conference having quarterbacks who have never won a playoff game. It's never happened before.
Wow.
The fewest playoff wins for the 4 quarterbacks of the 1 and 2 seeds is 2. So this is, obviously you can't have less than 0, but it is shattering a record. You got to go all the way back to the 80s for it. This, of course, would be if the standings hold with Sam Darnold and Caleb Williams and Bo Nix and Drake Maye. I don't know how everyone here values experience in this sort of thing. I know you do, but we have never seen before. I told you guys last week we had never seen so many 11-win teams at this point in the season. If the bracket holds, we've never seen this much inexperience at the top of a playoff.
I like that.
So that, to me, is another one of the reasons that we're saying this is wide open.
Absolutely.
It's not just that Mahomes and Burrow are. Let's say Mahomes and Burrow and even Lamar. Say the Ravens. Lamar loses and Mahomes out. But if the number 1 seed in the AFC were Buffalo, and the top 2 seeds in the NFC were Philly and the Rams, we wouldn't be saying it's wide open. You know what I mean? We'd be saying like those teams with those.
If they played, great this year.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. They to
like
be
if
the one.
Buffalo had its typical season the past few,
to be the 1 seed, they would have to. Is my point.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like if those teams had the season it looked like the Rams were going to have, the season Philly had last year, Buffalo's actually never been the 1 seed, but they've been close a few times, and those quarterbacks were at the top. It's also, I think, KW, one of the reasons you are so confident, because in your mind, Drake Maye has 12, 13 playoff wins. You are
in his personal
in your mind's eye, Drake Maye is a grizzled veteran that has dealt with the playoff pitfalls. Like that's how you talk about him. Like
I really view Josh McDaniels and Vrabel having a ton of experience. And when I say I can't see Drake Maye having a bad game, it's really because I think that Josh McDaniels has bad game proofed his game. This isn't working, we'll go here. If that's not working, we'll go here. If Drake's inaccurate, we'll switch it up. He's like the opposite of what Kevin Petullo's doing. Ben Johnson has, I guess I'll give Ben Johnson some, didn't win a Super Bowl, but.
No, he did not.
He's got some playoff experience.
All right. Well,
Sean Payton won.
It's wide open. All right, you guys got time for one more?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
You know what else is cool?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Puzzles.
I agree with that also.
And I'm going to ask my friends
puzzles
to help me solve the puzzle.
Cool. Puzzles are cool.
They're the coolest.
Yeah, they're the coolest puzzles.
A lot of pieces, small pieces. Well, this is a 2-piece puzzle. I need you guys to help me solve the puzzle that is the Philadelphia Eagles. They're the champs. They could be the 2 seed. But what do you do with the team that has the 19th ranked offense in the NFL, which would be among the lowest ranked offenses in the history of the Super Bowl era to win a Super Bowl? It's happened before. The 2008 Steelers, the 2015 Broncos, the 2002 Bucks were right there.
The 2015 Broncos almost don't count because it was Peyton Manning was the quarterback.
Right.
So it felt like they had a better offense than they did.
But in terms of low-ranked offenses to win a Super Bowl since the merger, that suggests they're not going to win it. But if I give you their defense, their offense is bad, you score below 17 points, they have a winning record in games where they score below 17. And every other team since 2000 that has had a winning record with that amount of games played has actually won the Super Bowl.
Every other team?
It's right there. Those teams.
Just those 4. Wow.
Those are the 4 that have had that winning percentage when they score less than 17 points. They all won the Super Bowl.
Drew, why are you brushing off your
He
shoulders?
loves the 2012
I've
Ravens.
just been telling y'all,
What?
the Eagles are live.
Drew, they're not you. Not only are they not your pick, they're not even your
No,
backup
but they're
pick.
live.
The Niners
They're
are
live.
your
Y'all don't
backup.
even think they're live.
They're Wilds' pick.
Everyone's
They're
live.
officially my pick, but man, very tepidly.
Well, so Brew, is that how you would solve this puzzle, by just saying, yeah, of course the Eagles are live, even with this spat of an offense?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I know their quarterback can dial it up a little bit.
I
have to.
I am really interested in what this week looks like.
Oh, the Tanner McKee show?
Yeah, I am. Because
What if A.J. Brown demanded the
So what if he cooks?
I mean, it has no impact on who's, like Jalen Hurts, their starting quarterback this year, next year. Like, that's not what I mean.
You think fans though in Philly?
That's if I were Kevin Patullo, I would just run the ball this week. There is nothing to be gained from Tanner McKee and the passing offense looking good. Like, there's just nothing to be gained from it.
He leaks a story to the media being like, I needed a quarterback to unleash my brilliance on the offensive
and so
side
I
of the
just
ball.
like the. So I want to make it very clear. Like, I think Philly fans have overrated Tanner McKee in
Yes.
their mind's eye, and I understand he's had a couple nice moments, nice in the preseason. It's a cool project for long term, but I think it's interesting that Philly is saying we don't value the 2 seed. Because they can still be the 2 seed if they win and Chicago loses, that they value. But I also understand giving yourself a bye. Like, I'm a big proponent of that, and they're simply saying, we think if we have to go to Chicago, we can go to Chicago and beat you guys.
Also, Mariota's not playing for Washington. They're still a 4.5 point favorite.
So
So they think their backups can beat the backups for Washington.
Which maybe they can, but I'm just really, I think that the Eagles are trying to thread a sports radio WIP needle this weekend as far as winning the game, not getting guys hurt, and not having the offense all of a sudden look like, wow, where's that been?
I think that's like, obviously it's no real
It has
quarterback
no impact.
controversy, but for fans,
yes,
if McKee cooks, it's gonna be
I think
crazy.
it's more of a Patullo issue, not. Jalen
I
Hurts.
agree, but
Even
I'm just
with
saying
with fans in Philadelphia as well.
Oh,
I think fans in Philadelphia, it's also a Sirianni issue.
Yeah.
Understandably.
Cool, man. I feel cooler being here.
Thank you.
I'm going to go home and
Thank
do
you.
a puzzle.
Do what you gotta.
Sick, dude.
Should have brought puzzles to dinner last night.
that would have been.
Who needs the number 1 seed
And
more, the
food.
Seahawks or the 49ers? That's next on First Things First, Overtime. Then Overtime Horn.
Welcome back to the OT, hanging out with Greg Jennings and Willie Colon. Talking 1 seed, which is on the line in the NFC. It all comes down to Saturday night. Niners hosting the Seahawks. Home field advantage on the line. Niners could host all the way through the Super Bowl. Question, gentlemen, is a simple one. Seattle or San Francisco? Greg, who needs the 1 seed more?
Seattle. And Seattle for an obvious reason. Like, their quarterback, we've seen him in this very spot just a year ago with the very same things on the line. Number 1 overall seed, going into a division opponent's home, trying to win not only that division, but obviously the number 1 overall seed. And the numbers or his record, Darnold through week 17, last 2 seasons, you see the numbers. Very similar, obviously a little bit better last season. This season, playing with a team that has really supported him, even with some of his woes, if you will, throughout some of the games. But primarily the reason why they need it is if he can exercise those demons and they can play at home, that's something that they didn't have last season. They had to go on the road against an opponent that got after them pretty good. You feel like if you play at home, you exercise some of these demons against a team, a division opponent, you believe that this team is going to be challenging as it pertains to teams coming into Lumen Stadium and trying to get a win there. So I just feel like for Sam Darnold, his personal confidence and that team's overall success, defensively, I know that travels.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, he wants to be at home.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Seattle wants it, but I really think the 49ers need it because with the bye, they're able to rest get healthy. Their stars are able to get healthy. You talk about Kittle dealing with the ankle, Trent Williams, and then think about this. If they win that division game, there's a potential Fred Warner could be back for that NFC Championship game. And all roads lead to Levi. And I think right now, if you're the Niners, you have an opportunity to, one, get healthy, two, you have Brock Purdy, who's 4-2 in the playoffs, been there, done that, plays really well. And you have a Niner team with momentum, especially after the way they played against the Chicago Bears, and I expect them to beat the Seahawks. All in all, it seems like the Niners are primed. They need it. I can see them showing up in big moments.
Yeah, I'm with you, Willie. So the Darnold narrative piece is fascinating. And last year he played horrible in that game against the Lions, and then it stuck and it carried over to the playoffs. But then he still got paid, and then he bounced back. And I think he's quieted a lot of doubters. He certainly has quieted me. Like, I've been impressed by him this year, though the last 6 or 7 games he has not been nearly as good. I just think Seattle's a much better team. Like I think Seattle is
a defense.
Right. I think they're like a more complete team. So San Francisco, man, if your defense is last in sacks and 25th in yards, 26th in touchdowns allowed, 26th in the Niners defense is just bad. Whereas Seattle's good at pretty much everything. They've got the best point differential in football this year. They're a top 10 offense. They're a top 10 defense. Like Seattle is just a more complete team. So it feels like they could travel as the 5 seed and win these games. Whereas I'd be very surprised if the Niners can take a bottom 5, bottom 7 defense, depending on your metric, on the road throughout the playoffs.
But I think right now, if the game happens to get in a shootout, you have to believe Brock Purdy is going to be the one to carry.
Different question.
But that's what I'm saying. We've seen Sam Darnold not look good in the big moments. And so with the turnovers, and they had to lean on their run game the last game against the Panthers. So for me, if the game comes down to shootout, I'm taking Brock Purdy to carry the team over the threshold.
I think we all would, right? Like, which quarterback do we trust more? I think we probably go 3 for 3 on Purdy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But the 1 seed question is, like, I just will trust the more complete team to be able to go on the road.
So when I understand that, I think for me, Seattle definitely is the more complete team. But in the postseason, if you don't trust the guy under center, if you can trust him on the road and or at home, cool. And I believe that's Brock Purdy. You're going to get what you get on the road or at home. With Sam Darnold, you really don't know what you're going to get. Whether it's on the road.
Purdy is playing his best ball right now. Darnold is not playing close to his best ball.
And to your point, we've seen him in these spots where he just looks like a shell of himself. It literally looks like the moment gets too big for him at times. And so that's why I say I feel like he needs it.
Fascinating game Saturday night, but we go to Pittsburgh now in a winner-take-all game Sunday night. Steelers, of course, hosting the Ravens. They win the AFC North. With a loss, could be Aaron Rodgers' final game. Mike Tomlin is very motivated to avoid the latter. Take a listen.
I'm just committed to making sure that it's not. He's certainly been an awesome contributor to our efforts, and not only from a talent perspective and an experience perspective, but just his professionalism, his relationship with the game, his love for his teammates, and his willingness to help them grow and get better and gain better understanding each and every day has been cool to be a part of.
Willie, do you look at this like it could be Aaron Rodgers' last game?
So I think it's interesting. A couple of things. I think win or loss, one, I think there would have to be an internal conversation, including Aaron Rodgers, that Mike Tomlin will be the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. That his job would not be in question, and also that from a Steelers standpoint, they feel like Aaron Rodgers can still get it done. I have a graphic right here to kind of show you his numbers as a Jet compared to what he looks like this season. The issue for me right now is that bottom highlighted right now, that 5.9. When you talk about this offense, outside of DK Metcalf, they don't have another body that can stretch the field or expose the middle of the field. You had the graphic yesterday. Kenneth Gainwell is their top dog right now. And so outside of DK, they struggle in the pass game. So I think, one, Steelers have to believe Aaron can still get the job done. And two, from a free agent standpoint, who's out there that can help this elevate this offense? And when you have this list right here, you would have to sit down with Aaron Rodgers and say, hey, man, we want you back, one, because we feel like you can get it done. Don't worry about Mike T. He's going to be the head coach. And number three, we're going to get you help on offense. And when you look at this list, if you got an opportunity to go get a Alec Pierce or a Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown, or a Juan Jennings, If you're Aaron Rodgers, you'll say, this is why I'm coming back, because we have help. I got my head coach, and personally, I feel like I got the backing of the organization. I can still be QB1 for you. If you have that on the table, yeah, I can see them really, Aaron Rodgers coming back and being the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
So I'm believing that this is it. And the reason being is because when you watch him over the course of the season, do we feel like he can still get it done in critical moments? I do. They would have to improve from a skill set, skill position, be more than even just some of those names on that screen, but also up front, because in order for you to have the success that you are looking for at times deep in the season, you got to be able to hold the ball a little bit longer, to push the ball down the field. To maximize who DK Metcalf is, you can't just be dinking and dunking and expecting him to just break tackles and get yards after contact all the time. He is better suited when he has a quarterback that can drop back, be okay with being pressured a bit, get outside the pocket and let that ball fly, and he go run underneath it and make big plays. So again, it's going to come down to, does he want to go through the process again? Because the offseason, the longevity of the season, all the wear and tear, I don't know if he's willing to do that. You make a good point about Tomlin being solidified as a head coach.
I don't think he's going to play for anybody else, but two key things. One, he's been sacked less as a Steeler than he was as a Jet. Note that. And number two, another name on that list that wasn't up there is Brandon Ayuk. If Brandon Ayuk wants to play football and he has a full year to recover and rehab, I can see the Steelers taking another shot at him, because they wanted him in the offseason.
They wanted him a couple of years.
It didn't work out.
Aaron Rodgers, for the last couple of years, was not a reliable narrator. He would say one thing, do another. He was a distraction. He was showing up. He was doing interviews, doing podcasts. He said, this is probably my last year, and it's just going to be about football. He's carried it like it's just been about football. Like I think he's done. But I think he will win or lose. He will say, I got to play for Mike Tomlin. I got to play for the Steelers. I didn't go out as a Jet.
Yep.
I didn't go out and embarrass.
Well, he was pushed out.
No, I know. Yeah. It did go out as a Jet. It wasn't a part of anything embarrassing, because he has acquitted himself well this year.
Yeah.
Right? He's played better than we thought. He's lasted the whole year. He gave him a winning record, and it's not embarrassing.
But
so I think he's done whenever this season
We've also
ends.
seen him walk the plank and then walk backwards back onto the field. So that's why I don't buy it. And on top of that, if they beat the Baltimore Ravens and they go into the playoffs and they make a legit run, how can that not warrant you to want to do it again?
I think if that happens, he's definitely done.
Because really? Look, I can do it.
I think he's definitely done.
I don't think either one of these teams is ready to make a run, but that would certainly be. I mean, that changes the conversation 100%. In terms of oh my God, what is this guy's ceiling? We're applying the eye test to the vulnerable contenders coming up on the OT. Back here on the OT, ringing in the new year. Make sure, gentlemen, update your health benefits.
Okay.
Maybe a trip to the eye doctor is in order. So today we will be applying the eye test to the contenders, but only who is the most vulnerable among the contenders. Keyword though, contenders. That means no NFC South teams are included. No AFC North teams are included, because we don't know who's going to be in the playoffs yet.
Rude.
Out of the AFC North. And of course, the Green Bay Packers are not included. So, to the bottom of the eye chart, as I see the league clearly. These are vulnerable contenders, but this is how you know that I'm a man of integrity. Because I will admit that my Chicago Bears are a vulnerable contender.
You're finally being
honest. Because that defense is a big yikes of a situation. I mean, they're 22nd in points. We can throw up all the numbers for them. It is ugly. 28th in yards, 28th in pass touchdowns. They're bad against the run, they're bad against the pass, they're bad on the scoreboard, and they're bad with big plays. The only thing they're good at is turnovers.
They are opportunistic.
They are very opportunistic, but even when they got a pick 6 against the Niners, they still lost at a shootout. So if we go back to the eye chart, who's the team right next to them? The aforementioned Niners. Obviously a contender. They could be the 1 seed with a win. But I wanted to do the exact same test looking at the Niners defense. It's also a big yikes. Wow. Like, the Niners defense is terrible. The Bears defense is terrible. Either one of those teams could just give up 35. Offense has a few fizzle out moments.
We saw it the other night.
And they lose with a great game. So those are vulnerable teams for the exact same reason. And then the last team on the bottom line is the New England Patriots. Crazy, unbelievable season, but I think the strength of schedule thing matters here, and it's not like, oh, that's unfair. Why? It's the easiest schedule any team has played since the Rams in 1999. Now, in fairness, the 1999 Rams won the Super Bowl, but still,
and they were filthy.
We've never seen a team, playoff or otherwise, have this easy of a schedule as the Patriots. That makes them vulnerable when you have to play good teams 3 weeks in a row. To the second row, as we look at the vulnerable contenders, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know I'm not very popular with Duval Nation right now for some of the things that I've been saying. Trevor Lawrence just had the worst passer rating game against the Colts since Geno Smith in Week 5. He was not good. I've seen him go on hot stretches before. I believe he went on a hot stretch the previous 6 weeks before that game against the Colts. I know the winning streak is there, but I just do not trust Trevor Lawrence. We'll see if I'm right come playoff time. While I trust Justin Herbert, the offensive line situation for the Chargers is well documented. If Justin Herbert would play in weeks 18, which he's clearly not, he would have set the record for most pressures and potentially for most hits. Or he would have set it for hits, had a shot at most pressures. It's a historically bad, historically injured offensive line. Obviously, Justin Herbert could just get sacked 7 times in a game and get eliminated. They're a vulnerable contender. But who's the most vulnerable contender? As I look into my crystal ball and see the league very clearly, it is the Denver Broncos. They are likely the 1 seed in the AFC. I don't have a good comp for a team with this type of profile. The Broncos have won 11 games by 1 score this season. Bo Nix in those 11 games has completed 63% of his passes for a passer rating of 83.9, meaning he has 11 wins with a passer rating in the low 80s. This year, Bo Nix against the Titans, Jets, Giants, and Raiders, the teams picking 1 through 4 in the draft, the 4 worst teams in the NFL. He has 5 passing touchdowns and 4 picks with a passer rating of 77 in those games, and they won those 5 games by a combined 21 points. They play down to their competition, and they have a remarkable ability to escape when their quarterback plays poorly. Some great fourth quarter comebacks, some great moments, great pass rush, but they are a very vulnerable 1 seed. So that is how I see the league for vulnerable contenders. Greg, do you see it the same way?
I don't see it the exact same way, but I want to focus on the Chargers because I look at the Chargers as being one of the most vulnerable contenders because obviously we know how excellent they are defensively, but because of all those issues you talk about offensively up front, and even what we don't talk about is the drops in the passing game.
Way too many drops.
We do not talk about that. If it were the Chiefs, we would talk about it. We don't talk about that. But it forces your quarterback, Justin Herbert, to hold on to the ball, try to get guys to uncover, and then he leads your team. He's led this team 7 times in rushing, and I think we have a graphic to show some of the numbers to support it. Obviously, we've seen the sacks, we've seen the hits taken, but the running back issues, they can't rely on their running game, which they had a really solid running game to start, and then the injuries got him.
Yeah,
but
him leading them in rushing 7 times is insane for a Harbaugh team. It's crazy.
To go into the postseason and this be what you're hanging your hat on, it just doesn't feel good. Obviously, we all know who Justin Herbert is. We know he's tough. We know he's gritty. We know he has the talent. But if he's the only thing that's high tide and everything else is low tide around them, something's got to give. And I just think that because of that, they probably don't make it out of the first round.
It adds to the hits total on him, too. Right? He's taking hits, dropping back to pass, and he's taking hits when he has to run the football. I do think the Patriots are a pretty good matchup for them, though, in round 1 if it breaks that way. Willie, how do you see the vulnerable
the most vulnerable playoff team to me is the Patriots. Obviously, we know Drake Maye is having a hell of a year, possibly MVP for this season, but defensively, they're the worst red zone defense in the league. They rank 31st. They lack to get turnovers. They're not able to get after the quarterback. And now with the off the field issues with Stephon Diggs and their star defensive tackle Barmore, they're in trouble. I mean, this team could be seriously one and done. And you talked about their strength of schedule. What scares me about the Pats right now is they haven't been tested. They haven't been taken to deep water. Every team that's on this list right now, no matter how you feel about them, they've had a worthy opposition where they can feel if they got the goods or not. The Pats necessarily don't have that. So, I think the Pats would be in and out, and unfortunately, it may be a quick exit.
What do you guys make of this thing I did in Pack Stats with the guys in the last segment? this would be the first time in NFL history that the top 2 seeds in each conference, none of the quarterbacks would have a single playoff win.
I saw that.
Like in terms, like Darnold, Caleb, and here it would be Drake Maye, Bo Nix. It's like it's a weird year in that I can point to flaws in every team. Experience, your defense, your strength of schedule. It makes it fun. It makes it wide open. But on that part, like, how much would you say inexperience is a contributing factor, say, to your Patriots?
Well, inexperience is huge. Like, one of the things that, and it goes back to the Niners situation with them getting the bye, like when we were able to get the bye, one, we were able to get rested, but two, the guys who had been there, done that, they were able to talk to the rest of the guys what it means to make a run, how you should prepare yourself, your mindset going into those games. Even guys who had lost playoff games, what it meant to go back and how important that game was in consideration to saying, hey, man, you never know when you're going to be back. So that kind of heightened our sense of urgency and really dial in. When you have that experience, it means a lot because some guys don't know what they don't know. But the guys who have been there say, hey, man, this week, this is what you should be focused on. This is how you prepare.
And when you talk about guys not knowing what they don't know, this is where I feel like sometimes the lack of experience, you don't know any better. So you think that
like an ignorance is bliss situation?
Ignorance is bliss. You believe that, I don't care how young we are, how much experience we do or don't have, we feel like we deserve to be here. We've earned the right to be here. So when you look, for me, looking at the Patriots, their schedule is what their schedule is. They have one of the best quarterbacks playing in the game and in the playoffs. They will have a chance. If they can be consistent, you got to get to the red zone to score. They don't let you get to the red zone that often.
Gentlemen, I have very important news. I'm going to give Caleb Williams a nickname coming up. Time now for First Things Last. For my final words of 2025, I wanted to address something that matters. Caleb Williams is on the verge of getting a nickname, and it seems like Iceman is catching on. A nod to his cool demeanor in the clutch and league-leading 6 fourth-quarter comebacks. His teammates on hot mics have been caught referring to him as Iceman, but most notably, their iconic radio voice Jeff Joniak adopted the term during his call of the walk-off touchdown against the Packers. Take a listen.
Snap. Caleb, play fake, looking to throw, going deep, searching for DJ Moore, over the shoulder, catch, made, touchdown Bears! It's over at Soldier Field. The Iceman cometh, the Iceman taketh.
Caleb also does the Cole Palmer or Cold Palmer celebration after big plays, which I gotta be honest, plays nicely into the theme. And I also want to be clear, because this stuff matters. It's a good nickname, and Caleb clearly seems cool with it. But back in week 10, when Caleb had some particularly ridiculous escape artist moves in the pocket against the Giants, he reminded me of Neo from The Matrix dodging bullets. It was like the game had slowed down. Like Morpheus watching his protege figure it out, I said, he is the one. And I thought I had stumbled on the perfect nickname. For one thing, Caleb was the number 1 pick in the draft. But more importantly, like Morpheus had been looking all his life for the one to help in his rebellion against the machines, I and all Bears fans had been searching for the one to change the narrative in Chicago. The one to be the first 4,000-yard passer. The one to be the best quarterback in franchise history. The one to change the fact that the great city of Chicago had never seen sustained offensive excellence from the quarterback position. And then Caleb started doing his thing, and it was clear in short order we'd have all of those things and more. And yes, that makes Ben Johnson, the man who trained Caleb and got him to harness his abilities, Morpheus. But then, amidst all the winning and highlights and Iceman hype, an amazing thing happened. In that iconic game against the Packers, I noticed that the one was painted on Caleb's nails. And then again last week, in that national TV shootout against the Niners, the one again seemed to appear on Caleb's nails. Now, the first rule of nicknames is you don't get to pick your own. So if it's Iceman, cool. But remember, Bears fans, some of the greatest to ever do it have more than one. Air Jordan, his Airness, MJ. And it seems like Caleb is quietly buying into the one. Or put another way, he's beginning to believe. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on First Things First. We'll be back on Friday to get into Week 18.